Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the show. We're covering entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today's show is going to be as good as the price action was last week. So it's not so great today. We do have Bitcoin sitting at 117,300. It does look like it wants to go down a little further. It broke its resistance level of 117.5, and it does look like it wants to go down there. Ethereum does look like it wants to touch 4180, which is the the resistance we had for over a year. But these are very healthy corrections. I think in order to go up higher, we do need to come down a little bit. You have to remember, rich people and old money, they do not buy rips. They only buy dips, right? So this is going to give them a lot of opportunity to get in the market. We need them in the market. Bitcoin is, it's $2 trillion. We can't move it ourselves, guys. It's too big, right? And Ethereum, same thing. It's like, 500 million at this point. So we do need the old money to come in and start buying these things up. And they want these assets so bad, but they're very conservative people. We know that, right? That's why they're able to hold it long term. They don't get like weak hands and sell and stuff like that, but they're getting in. And they're getting in rapidly, and they're staking it as well. And then we got companies like SharpLink and stuff like that that are buying and not worried at all, guys. This thing is going to rip. We're about to head into an alt season. Coinbase is calling for it. Coinbase is saying, hey, alt season's coming. We have a lot of amazing news today. And remember, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, Yagobi and I are going to be dropping a meme coin. This meme coin is going to be something that we push every single day. And when we say push, we basically mean we want this thing to succeed. So we're gonna just, hey, if you're watching the show, you're gonna love our new pet that we're getting, right? So just like when people come over your house, like, this is my dog, right? So that's what we're gonna do. When you come to our house, you're gonna see our new pet. So really excited for that. It's just fun. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a way for us to kind of do cool stuff with and stuff like that. So definitely want to be a part of that though, because you're gonna get in when we push the button, right? We're pushing the button live. It's gonna be the most transparent drop that has ever happened. We're going to be live for like 6 hours during that time. So it's going to be crazy. Come hang out with us, join us. I do think that Sunday is going to be a bounce back day for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I do think that's going to be a really bullish time. You guys are going to get in the ground floor or something special. I see this thing competing with the likes of Gizmo and Billy Cat on this side, and maybe even one day Pop Cat and go up there. Maybe even Dog with Hat as well. So I think that this could be something truly special. And as we grow, this meme coin is going to kind of grow with us, and that's kind of what we want. We got some awesome videos that we're making for it, and we got so much. And then, not to mention the people that I reached out to who are very interested in this, right? They're very, very interested in playing because you can make a lot of money when you get in that early. So you definitely want to tune in Sunday night. We're gonna have the link available after the show, so you guys can see the countdown of how long it is and stuff like that. And we got some really, really cool stuff planned for that. It's going to be exciting, guys. But do not worry about the markets. We do have a jam-packed show of news, a lot of really bullish stuff. And then at 12:30 today, we're going to be joined by the great Adam from Emblem Vault. This is going to be a great show. So without further ado, let's get it started. Bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling today, brother?
I'm feeling gut punched, man. I didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean,
yeah,
usually I'm pretty positive, right? Kicking things off, but I feel like Ethereum pulling back, and we do. This is a prime example of like how short our memory is in this space. We were struggling to get past $4,000, right? And we got to 4,700, 4,700, right? 4,700. Yeah, I was right. And that was like a speed race after we getting past 4,000, right? So like $700, we were like right next to the all-time high. So, for me, I think sometimes even myself that's in this every single day, I will still, die on the hill that like they're trying to shake you out with this. Number one, they want to buy your Bitcoin and your Ethereum cheaper. But two, I do sometimes myself have to kind of take a step back and say, okay, look, what happened? Where we raced to 4,700, probably a little too quick, right? And a pullback is healthy here. How deep will this pullback get? Because that's going to be really important. I still think the fundamentals with Ethereum are really strong. I think that August is still going to reach a new all-time high, or at least really challenge it. We already challenged it once. We got very close to 4,800, but I think that we challenge it and pass it this month. We still have 2 weeks for that to happen. The monthly chart it still looks fine. Having a couple red days is not going to kill that huge green candle. It might chop down a little bit on the top of it, right? But it's not going to kill it. And I still truly feel that way. But it's okay. Whenever these days happen, it's good to kind of reflect in other parts of the space. What are other entities thinking? Like Coinbase, they say all season's right around the corner. What are the really hard critics and conservative minds like Benjamin Cohen saying? You got to take it from every aspect, the very conservative, the medium, and then the risky, and really kind of the ones that have been consistently like in the right, and try to follow that, right? So that's what I'm doing here, taking advantage of a little bit of a bloody 2 days, and maybe focusing on some other parts of the space.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people don't realize that Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Like 2 days ago, right? So it's kind of like we got to zoom out here, right? And it's me too. Like I feel the same way. I came up this morning and I'm kind of in a bad mood. And I was like, dude, Ethereum hit 4,700. Like, but you know what I mean? Like Bitcoin's at 25. Like the bull market's here. It's here. Be patient. Make sure that your mind's right, because right now my mind isn't right. I'm in this what have you done for me lately type of feel. But a bull market is upward momentum for 6 months. And if I feel like that every time we hit a dip, Bitcoin hit 50 and I'm pissed off at 45, it's not healthy. You know what I mean? It's not healthy. And I think that's kind of where we need to be. We got to reset ourselves a little bit, right? Get into more of a stronger way of thinking, but 100%. But so we're launching this meme coin this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to come in, we're going to do some market analysis, and then we're going to launch it, wait for everyone to get in, and then we're going to launch it live. What are you most excited about with this new meme coin from the OnChain Revolution team?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want people to realize this is about building a community. It is a meme coin. It's not like a utility coin attached to a project. The difference is that it's a community that we're trying to build into our extend our community as well, right? So I think people need to realize that this is going to be a part of the future of marketing as well. Like just, you know, one of our really well-respected partners said, you know, meme coin's kind of like a really good blog or, you know, a way to extend your brand, grow your brand.
Yeah.
And if people don't want to read the blog at first, that's fine. But you know, if the blog is interesting, it's your job to make that blog interesting, and that's that's how we're approaching this. So, you know, we know there's gonna be some really excited people. There's gonna be some maybe not excited people, but at the end of the day, we don't feel the pressure on that because it's not about that. We show up every day, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends we work, by the way. But like to you guys, we have a show from 11 to 12:30 minimum p.m. Eastern. And then, you know, this is going to be a part of that now, is growing the community. We want to cover, even though Solana does have a lot of degeneracy, we want to open the door a little bit to, you know, that community a lot. I mean, however, it's open to everybody in the space. As long as you're not a crap person, like you're not trying to do, you know, rip people off and stuff like that. You know, we want to welcome all parts of the crypto space to our community and grow it that way. But in terms of our connections from the partners and what our experience and stuff, we can do some really cool things here with this community in terms of bridging. We have RuneMind that's already on board, you know, bridging from Solana to Bitcoin. In terms of infrastructure, we, you know, like one of our partners is one of the biggest AI products in Solana, Agent Hustle, right? I'm just not saying that they're going to do anything with this meme coin, but that's the kind of connections I'm saying that we have. So they're really in the spotlight. And for us, we just grind every single day. That's what you're going to get from us. We're going to, you know, come to work, put our boots on, and try to grow this community. And this is one of the approaches. So I'm excited about that part, is really just expanding our community and so that goes for you guys too in the community. You know, we have a lot of great community members, but you know, this is going to be a good opportunity to continually grow your networks as well.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And what do you think is a realistic? Let's just say next Friday we're sitting here. We better be sitting here, but we're sitting here. We're talking. What is a realistic market cap for this meme coin?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't want to go there because
what? No, like just a realistic. Just be like for you're somebody who watches meme coins in there. What is a realistic market cap for something that launches and is a week old?
That's a really tough. That's like a really hard question because there's so many attributes to that could really change that, right? So if you're looking at something that was, for example, I'm going to go over it from the news from the trenches today, but like Finn, which is the founder of the Bags launch app, he launched a token, or someone launched a token that was giving all the donations to Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast was streaming with Aiden Ross, two of the biggest streamers in the world. And, you know, all the trading fee donations were going to Mr. Beast's cause. And he was calling Finn out personally on his live stream. I mean, when you have Mr. Beast, the largest YouTuber, doing that, you should drive some volume, right? And they did about $32 million in volume. But that was is a tricky thing, right? Like it got to I'll get into it deeper, but it got to only like $7 million market cap, when something that you would maybe expect this thing will go to 20, 30, 40. Mr. Beast is talking about it. But then it's a short-term goal. You know, once they hit that goal of 450,000 of reaching, then the stream kind of ends and the fundraiser is over. So it tanked all the way to I think like $500,000 market cap, maybe even lower than that. But the whole point that I'm making is that's why it's hard. The difference, I think, was like what we're trying to do here is this is something that's going to be ongoing with like a community building opportunity, right? We've been here doing this since 2023. We haven't left. We're going to continually do our live stream every day, Monday through Friday. We have an audience and community growing on Abstract. We, have about almost 400 followers on there already, and it's like a growing stream. We got Kick, we got Twitch, which those are growing on their own pace, and then we have Rumble and YouTube and X, which are our bread and butter, which are the most important too. That's where our bread and butter is. And so for us, like, we want to grow the community through those channels, but also this is something that's going to be like a journey, right? So it's kind of like building a community family type of situation. And I think with that, you got to look at it as kind of like a bit of a marathon here, right? So something like that, maybe I think people should be happy with like, low to mid 6 figures next week. But if there's something that does cross 7 figures or something like that, that's even better. But that's not what I want to focus on personally. I want to focus on, building it and what can we do with the meme community and stuff like that, right? Like, how can we bridge kind of Bitcoin and Solana together a little bit, because there's a big disconnect there. Rightfully so. The Solana mindset has a lot of, let's be honest, not very much holding culture there. But the small percentage that does, they can do very well, right? You're talking about probably 1%, between 0.5 to like 1.5% that actually hold in terms of like these tokens, right? But the Bitcoin side does hold, and then there's also a lot of cool like tech stack stuff, and this could be an educational experience for this community as well. Like, look, I think I'm in the camp that the Bitcoin ecosystem is going to thrive this bull run at some point, whether it's Rune's thriving, whether it's, you know, Kraken's on board with that, you know, and maybe Coinbase comes on board and starts to list dog and stuff like that. And Solana is Solana. It's attractive because it does get a lot of volume, right? So you're kind of combining one end of the spectrum that does really well with another end of the spectrum that has done very well and has potential to do very well and is growing, and kind of meshing those together. So I think this is going to be an amazing experience and opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I'm feel comfortable putting numbers. I think we hit, you know, potentially 900K Sunday night, with a dip down to like 400K, and then a move up to like 1.2 on like Wednesday, Thursday, with another pullback down to potentially 600K. I think we're going to be potentially, and basically where you said your number were, but I think we'll be 600K with tons of volume next week. I think there's never been a meme coin that's been this transparent with a team like ours that's going to push this on a daily basis. That Solana is finally going to get something they can hold. A lot of the problems too with Solana tokens is they feel like they can never hold anything. But I feel a lot of people are going to get out, and then they're going to end up getting right back in because they don't want to miss out on the next level, right? They're going to be like, damn, I'm going to keep it moon back. Let me keep it moon back. I feel like we're going to change a little bit of the way they think, because you're going to see tokens like $1 Billion Cat and, you know, Gizmo and Dog with Hat. And they're being like, what if this is one of them? Right? Because it is. We're getting like 30-40% of the supply, and we're going to immediately bridge that over to Bitcoin. We're going to let people stake it in Fluid and get, you know, easily 100% APY in 90 days, right? So there's different aspects of that as well. We're going to be airdropping to our pass holders, right? So that's another thing. Another give back. If you have an OnChain or No Revolution pass holder, you're going to get an airdrop of this token. I don't know how big it's going to be, but it's might not be giant, but it'll be at least minimum the price of the pass for sure. And then you know, I think that we're doing a lot of cool things with this token, especially with the staking. And you know, there is no team allocation. Me and Yagobi do not get any of this, so that's another thing, right? There's no team allocation. I'm repeating myself, but I think with that and everything that we're building here, I think minimum this thing is 3 months from now, this thing is between $5 and $10 million.
Well, I mean, again, I don't get into the speculative like market caps, because I think
that's what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah, but not with a token that we're launching, because I think it's like this. If it doesn't have like a certain level of success, that means people don't believe in us and that we're not doing our job, right?
Yeah.
At least in this aspect of like, you know, trying to build a community, not utility, because that's not what this is, right? But you know, at the end of the day, it's like, then, you know, we got to look in the mirror, because at the end of the day, that's what that is, right? So I think both of us have the mentality of not failing. And so you know, but again, I'm not going to personally get into that number wise, but what I will tell you is that, like, you know, there's going to be a ton of fun and effort towards it. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get in, don't get in. I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's not like, I'm not desperate for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like for me, like, I know what my worth is as a content creator and what we bring to the table every single day. And we have partners that, you know, kind of show what our worth is as well. Right. And we've established this from zero. Like when we came into the space, we had like less than, I want to say 60 subs to 25,000 on YouTube. So I'm not trying to gloat or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that we work hard. A lot of times we don't feel like we don't have lives outside of this. You know what I mean? And so with that being said, it's going to be fun. Have fun with it, man. Have fun with it. If you get angry and all that stuff, you probably shouldn't even be in crypto, because you're letting yourself get to a stress level to where you're probably using money that you don't need to be using and all that good stuff. But anyways, that's how I feel about it. And I'll leave it at that, because, you know, on Sunday, we're going to have a lot more to go into. We're going to be streaming for like 6 hours.
100%. Yeah, man. All right. So BTC long squeeze or bear trap. SEC delays Sol ETFs, and U.S. Treasury eyes BTC Superpower. So the first part of that is, are we in a bear trap, or is this kind of like a BTC long squeeze?
Man, yeah. So I still feel like there's a possibility that we are in a both, by the way, but it was more bear trap. The squeeze kind of already happened in a
Yeah.
sense, right? Because you have to remember we were just at 124 for Bitcoin. We're at 117, pulling back 7,000, in my opinion, with people loading up on longs around 120 because it drops to 120. 119, they're like, oh, okay, this is normal kind of real quick pullback after tapping the all-time high. But $7,000 pullback is pretty significant, especially if you're dealing with like a higher leverage, right? 20, 30, 40x, which some people were maybe expecting Bitcoin to blow past it, which I get a little bit because that Bitcoin play could have been really tricky if you think about it, because Bitcoin has been really chilling as Ethereum has been super aggressive. So you're like, all right, now it's time for Bitcoin to do its thing. And it goes and it does its thing for like a little sprint, tags 124, only to kind of disappoint and pull back to 117, right? So what happens? More risk came in my opinion. More risk at 120, 121. Okay, we're about to hit that 128, 130. I'm gonna make a quick, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 for the bigger, size, playing with size. And they got wrecked here, right? But that's the risk that they take at that moment, right? Perfect setup for market makers. I mean, that PPI was perfect for them. I mean, come back, liquidate, hit all the stops, like, coming over that high on the PPI. It just was perfect for them. And unfortunate, really bad for the bulls that came in. Now, I feel like that was a bit of a squeeze. Do we get an extended squeeze, a true squeeze? I don't think so. But I will say that the bleed out on the 4 hour doesn't look great. For Bitcoin, it looks like it just started the kind of momentum on the MACD to start another sell session, or sell pressure session. But it is definitely starting off a little bit timid for the MACD. We'll see if it gets hyper aggressive. That's going to be a problem. I kind of saw that yesterday, though. Remember when I said I think Bitcoin looks like if I had to pick, it would be a bit of a downtrend. That happened, unfortunately. I was hoping that we could sustain those blows. I mean, and right now we are taking a couple blows. We started the show, I think, at 118.2. We're at once. It's gone down $1,000. But again, it has been decently strong. We'll see how long this squeeze lasts. Fridays are tricky. Sometimes we'll start off good, end up bad, vice versa. We have a lot of day left. Ethereum, perfect narrative. People are unstaking. They're doing all these things. Tom Lee's licking his chops. He's licking his lips right now. He's ready to buy more cheap. SharpLink ready to. Don't let them do it, guys. But at the end of the day, they control it because they deal with size, right? So at the end of the day, they're gonna buy it though. They're gonna buy it up. They're gonna buy it cheap because that's what the narrative right now is. Ethereum is the play of the decade, I believe, is what he said.
100%. Couldn't agree more. So the next part of this is U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in an interview to Fox, "We're not going to be buying," referring to crypto reserves, "and will instead use seized assets." He has also stated that the value of Bitcoin reserves is about 15 to 20 billion, and the government will stop selling its Bitcoin holdings. Treasury Secretary Bessent says the Treasury is exploring budget-neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin, make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world. A lot in here, but this is the reason why we kind of dipped yesterday. I don't know why. I felt like they just needed a reason to dip yesterday on top of the PPI, but this seems to be something basically. I guess people don't realize you have to get through Congress in order to buy Bitcoin, right? And Congress isn't going to use taxpayer money to buy Bitcoin. It doesn't matter, right? They're just not going to do it. But we got to find budget neutral ways to do it. And Scott Bessent needs to put together a plan to do that. But it does sound like he's still very bullish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, if this is the reason why, I think it has more to do with the PPI, in my opinion, honestly, because I think if this is the reason why, it's a bunch of crybabies, because they're saying they're not going to use taxpayer dollars to buy Bitcoin. You guys are mad? No, I think that's the stupidest reason to be upset. And they're going to use seized assets, whether that's seized gold, seized whatever it is that they can convert into Bitcoin, they will, right? And
who the hell's seizing gold though?
I mean, I don't know.
Walking around with gold bar.
Maybe like a huge drug kingpin or something has a ton of gold bars, maybe, right?
Yeah,
if they seize that, because you wouldn't think that they would seize pounds of cocaine just to
Yeah.
resell it, and then and then turn that into Bitcoin unless they're like, hey, can we get a good deal here? No, just
Well, who you sold it to instead of back to Colombia or whatever? But
we're just poking fun with that, but that's pretty funny. But yeah, seized assets. What does that mean? Could be also like organized crime that has a huge classic car collection worth $30 million or whatever, right? You sell that down into Bitcoin, stuff like that.
Auctions,
I think is what they're going for. So
100%. And the final part of this is the SEC delays decision on Bitwise Solana ETF and 21 shares Core Solana ETF with new deadline set for October 16th. Mid-October has been the ETF, day for a while now, in my opinion. And it's just another version of that, and it's happening. And I do think we'll get ETFs for Solana, Cardano, XRP, and a Dogecoin, and probably a bunch more. But I think we're going to have to wait till October. The SEC, got to remember, this is a new administration, just got on board. They're still trying to figure everything out, but I think that they have a plan together to get multiple ETFs in October, and that's perfect timing.
It is perfect timing, October, but it is a little weird that they keep delaying it. But I guess that's what kind of happened before, right? The delays and stuff. But this is more of a friendly SEC, so it does seem like a lot more strategic to kind of do them in a cluster, right? Versus just try to approve them one by one and all that stuff.
100%. All right, let's get into the news story of the day. Is Coinbase says a full altcoin season may be approaching, driven by rising institutional interest in ETH. They go on to say altcoin market cap is up over 50% since early July, with the Lido gaining from ETH's rebound and SEC support. A September rate cut could boost retail inflows as well. So they did have a little chart here. I don't understand when they put out these kind of charts, because I just don't get it. This is altcoin market cap. Okay, so it did take a dip though in July, but it did bounce back, which is, I mean, we've seen this before. What do you think, man? Do you think we keep rising on the altcoin market cap?
I'm not seeing anything. There you go. Yeah. So I mean, I do think that this is a true statement. I say that it is approaching, but I do think ETH needs to pass that, right? Pass that all-time high. I think it needs to pass it, and to where people like the Pepes and the Sheebs and stuff start to come alive within that ecosystem, because we already have Solana kind of having its like main runners, right? You have the fart coins, you have the dog whiffs, and they've done their thing, right? It hasn't brought retail back, but I do think that Ethereum's ecosystem can bring back some of the retail, that, because you have to remember there's a lot of people that holding ETH assets and stuff that maybe sold for a loss, or they still are holding, and that's going to get them excited, because they're not excited right now. I mean, yes, the ones that are holding ETH are, but like the ones that are holding Pepe aren't super excited. The ones that are holding SHIB aren't super excited right now, and maybe there needs to be a new runner on Ethereum as well. You know what I mean? And that could maybe do something that sparks things, but something has to happen to where either Ethereum gets to like 52, 53, 5400, it gets a lot of excitement, and then these other ecosystems, and we haven't talked about Sui either, because Sui has a lot of assets on there, and they're a platform that has a lot of potential to bring retail back as well. So it's just Ethereum needs to get to that all-time high.
100%. I completely agree, and I do think it happens next week for sure. Was hoping for this week, but got close, but no cigar. All right, jump into the next thing here. Really interesting. So I'm a huge fan of Andre, right? Andre Cronje from basically Andre Cronje has a new project called Flying Tulip, a fully on-chain trading platform, has launched fundraising targeting U.S. funds. Backed by yield-based synthetic pools, it offers perpetual token buyback rights at origin. So I went deeper and I was like, what is this Flying Tulip? So Flying Tulip is aiming to be the hyper-liquid style platform, but entirely on-chain, instead of using a custom off-chain engine with on-chain settlement. So this is really cool. And I did look further research on this. So this is the tweet here from Woo Blockchain, but then Andre, he now has it in here. Founder of Flying Tulip. So you go to Flying Tulip, this is kind of what it looks like. They do have a website here. And then when you go to the website, this is kind of like, it's going to be a hyper liquid, but it's going to be on Sonic. blockchain. With Sonic is super fast. Sonic's actually faster than Hyperliquid. So so that's pretty cool. But what do you think? Do you think Andre can, replicate Hyperliquid on Sonic and bring in the dynamic that Hyperliquid has brought in?
It's going to be tough because like the biggest thing to change, one of the hardest things to change in the human conditioning is repetition and like the comfortable type of way of doing things, right? And I think there's a lot of people that are comfortable using Hyperliquid and stuff like that. Yes, there's already platforms that are competing with it, but if you're trying to take over that top spot and you're new, you're gonna have to have something that is really like different. And I think with the completely on-chain part, it's
No
like
depositing.
people, yeah, but like that depositing takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
You own your funds. When you deposit, something happens with Hyperliquid, you could lose your funds.
Yeah, I mean,
If it's on chain like this, what Andre's building, where you all you got to do is get Sonic, and that's it. Like you can get Sonic from any exchange, Coinbase, whatever, and just send Sonic to your MetaMask, and then you're on. You're in to go.
Yeah, I mean the vaults could still get compromised, but other than that, only
Andre has never been compromised though. He's one guy.
I know.
Never
I'm
been
just talking about
compromised.
I'm just talking about what the
Yeah.
possibilities are. And so, but that's everything. That's Uniswap. That's anything,
Yeah.
right? And so, so that would be the difference. I mean, that's going to probably be their arguing point is that look, it's not centralized. We're not, don't have control of your funds. You don't have to deposit here. You can do that. The only risk at all is just if you are going to add liquidity to the vaults, and that's any risk in a decentralized environment that has any type of AMM or vault type of locking system.
Would you be willing to play over here instead of Hyperliquid for the airdrop? For the airdrop?
For the airdrop, sure. Incentivize me.
Would you? Like that's what I'm saying. So yeah. I think that's how he's going to bring a lot because he's doing a token sale, which means he is going to do an airdrop. Andre has done airdrops in the past for everything he's done. So potentially by using this platform now on Sonic, which is going to bring a lot of people to Sonic, which I think is awesome. You're going to potentially, I mean, the Hyperliquid airdrop was absolutely insane, and if it's anything like that, I mean, this thing could be pretty badass.
Yeah, I wonder how they're doing the higher yields. Unless they're just rolling the fees into the yields more, because I know that like the yield on Hyperliquid, they do the yield and then they probably don't put much of the fees into it. Obviously they have to put some, but then the rest they do token buybacks and all that stuff, right? So maybe Andre is doing more into like the yield for liquidity, because that's one of the hardest parts is getting that TVL up, right? And so it seems like that's what they're doing here. But yeah, that would incentivize me, right? Like to do something over there and use that. I
mean, if it's the same trade, if you're just longing ETH, for instance, why wouldn't you just do it here? Potentially get, if it's anything like Hyperliquid airdrop, I mean, it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. But
yeah, it could be for sure. Yeah.
But we'll see if this gets traction. It is Andre. That's the only reason I brought it up, because it's Andre. If it wasn't Andre, I would be like, this is probably, but he's the godfather of DeFi. And this is the ultimate decentralized product, right? So,
yeah. Well, and also like, testing out the platform and making sure the experience is good and stuff like that would make a difference.
Yeah. But the reason he's doing it, like I was thinking in my head, I was like, why isn't he just building something else? Well, Hyperliquid recorded $29 billion in volume and 7.7 million in fees. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you want to replicate that, right? It's number one a fee generator in all of crypto.
In 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. $7 million every day.
That's a lot. That's a lot of millions.
That is why Andre is not building a DeFi project, but building the DeFi project. But we'll see. Moving along now, Tether Treasury has minted 1 billion USDT on Ethereum. It's the first time they've minted on Ethereum in a long time. I guess it does take Ethereum's number go up for people to get interested again. Is this a bullish thing for you, or is this a non thing?
Well, this is good. This is meaning that they're expecting some activity. happening there. And look, it's quiet transactions. We know that last week they hit their all-time transaction daily, and I was just so shocked by that because who's doing anything over there, right? So there's stuff happening on Ethereum, and this is a bullish indicator that there's more planned to come. What are they going to be doing? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling institutional stuff, probably majority, but we'll see. Will we ever play in the playground on Ethereum again? Maybe not in the same way that
I'm there.
Maybe not the same way that we used to, though. You know what I'm saying? Like the way we used to is the way that we play in Solana. Solana has taken it a couple of steps further, but and that when I say I'm talking about the degen stuff, right? Like a new ticker dropped. You go to Dex Tools back in the day, you see what the new ticker is, you get into it, and Solana's kind of taken that over. But I think maybe in the future, the way we play in the playground, the most degen way would be something like what you're doing with Titan X, or that type of like where you're just staking, and then maybe like a new institutional model comes in for people that are a little bit more educated, been in the space for a while, and can kind of realize what's happening with this TradFi / crypto model that comes in over there, and you can it's more of a solid, consistent, almost like you feel really good being in it, basically.
Well, we did. We were doing it in January, right? On base. You got to remember, when you're playing on an Ethereum L2, you're still playing on Ethereum, right?
Yeah, I'm not
the transactions finalized the same way, and me and you were deep
Virtuals
in a lot of those.
But
those
I feel
projects.
but I feel like Virtuals is still degen, though. I feel like it's pretty degen.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what you asked. You said, "Will we ever play?"
I'm talking about
Virtuals.
I'm talking about directly like on Ethereum, like using.
There's no reason ever. You want to finalize on Ethereum. What's the difference when using base when you finalize or using ETH? The same thing. It's just one's cheaper and faster.
Yeah, one's cheaper and faster. Yeah, that's true.
That's like saying Arch isn't on Bitcoin. Technically, it is.
Yeah, that's the whole goal, right? Is to make it that way. That's why I was asking. I was like, will we ever play in the playground directly on ETH again? I don't know, but there's going to be there's stuff that's going to happen there directly on layer one. It's going to be probably more volume and institutional stuff. You know what I mean?
Because when Arch launches, will you ever do anything on L1 Bitcoin again? Probably not, right?
Well, maybe ordinal stuff, just because you don't
can buy ordinals in Arch.
I know, but what I'm saying is like you don't care as much in terms of speed with ordinals. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're buying, there are certain situations if you're flipping really quick or something like that. But if you're buying a Grail or something, you won't care as much. But I hope that that's the day that there's a day that comes to where it is like that. You know what I mean? Because like Bitcoin, in my opinion, should be a finalizing layer where these scaling solutions finalize there if they want to, right? And think transactions are being proven that they have been done, and you can see the proof on Bitcoin, and stuff like that. So we'll see. Obviously, it wasn't made to have the speed transaction stuff. Like, it just wasn't made for that.
It was made for more contracts but
some chains weren't made for certain things, and then they were upgraded and stuff like that, right? But Bitcoin just doesn't even seem to be into that category necessarily either. So
100%. All right, jump to the next thing here. The 1.82 billion in stablecoins flowed into Binance this week. First time since July 16th. We do know we've been on a runner since July 16th. Do you think this is setting us up for our next runner here?
I mean, it has to be these stable coins that have been flowing in, like they've been flowing in forever, right? And they're just like flowing in. We're like, what are they doing with it, right? And a lot of us are assuming that
this is Binance.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying in general, like, because like the alt market, like Binance is a big chain that like degen stuff happens, right? And so it's like, whether it's flowing into Binance, whether it's USDC flowing into Solana, whether it's now Tether again flowing into ETH, like this, they're preparing for something, right? And it has to be that part of that has to be that they're preparing for alt season,
preparing for this dip that we're in right now. Like, and you see all, you know what I mean? So, but 100%. All right. Well, okay, this is This is interesting. So Solana, they actually have a proposal out. It's called the Alpenglow proposal has started its community governance process, introducing a major consensus upgrade targeting 150 what's that? MS
Milliseconds?
block millisecond. Yeah,
I
millisecond
don't
block
know if that's. I
finality.
don't know if that's what
Yeah,
that
yeah, it's
means.
milliseconds. The proposal marks the most significant consensus level upgrade in Solana's history, and it's being handled through its decentralized governance. If passed, Solana could deliver real-time performance comparable to Web 2 systems. Solana's finality slash 99% from right now, where it's at 12.8 seconds to 150 milliseconds.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think, one, this upgrade gets pushed through, and two, I mean, does Solana need this? Do we need to go to 150 mils?
I mean, if they're looking to make it like, enterprise and corporations and institutions like a part of, want to use the chain, there have been some signs of stuff like that. I forgot what we talked about yesterday, but there was something I was like, that's good that they're doing that, because
Yeah.
they're just known for this degen, kind of dirty chain, which, I mean, to be fair, like, we did this last cycle in Ethereum,
Yeah.
which they're probably like, boomer. No, but I'm not a boomer. I'm millennial. But my point that I'm making is that, like, this is good for longevity, right? Because Solana does need a very serious part of it. Because you can't just continually I mean, I guess if you want to be known as a casino forever, but it seems like that casino thing, it could be a baton that's passed to chain to chain. Ethereum was the casino before, and then Binance became the casino during the same cycle, and then all these other chains became casino, and then Solana is the casino this time, right? So where does the baton get passed to, and how serious does Solana get taken? Because in the beginning, Solana was a bunch of serious projects in the very beginning.
Yeah.
You were in a lot of them. Hive, the Stepper, the all these things that would seem to be real world use case. And I think it's also very vital for performance in terms of speed, to at least match Web 2, right? And I know that people are like, well, why? And I think it's because everyday people need to be able to use Web3 without realizing they're using it, right?
Yeah.
And we're getting there with like different aspects of it, with Privy coming into the game and being able to sign up for an account with your Gmail. Those are great. That's part of it, but speed is also part of it. And if we can do that, then our space advances, right? It excels. And then you talk about like the visas and all them. I know that this is not matching up with TPS necessarily, but I'm sure there will be some sort of correlation to it. They're already in the game now because they know that the regulations here, but make them feel even more comfortable and stuff like that. So this is big. I think I forgot what it was yesterday that we talked about. Maybe it was stable coins that were continually going there or something, but I think that there's going to be a lot of serious projects coming back to Solana at some point.
Yeah, I think it was like 500 bit or something like that, 500 million, or I can't remember. Something about stable
USDC.
Yeah, for sure. For me, I think that they're worried. They're worried about chains like Sonic. They're worried about chains like Hyperliquid, right? That are just so fast, and maybe more and more people start building there instead of Solana, right? And I think that, like for you, instance, right? You like to play on Hyperliquid, right? But why wouldn't you play on a Solana version of that? Because you're already on Solana. You have to go to Arbitrum, to Hyperliquid. It's so much hard. But like, why wouldn't you just play on something
Radium
on there? On like,
Radium
they
has
have
Radium has
same
perps.
product.
Radium has perps and stuff like that. But look what happened with Phantom.
Yeah.
Phantom integrated Hyperliquid into their wallet because they, again, this is, what is the user experience like? Have they gotten it to a point to where the brand has spread like virally, like Hyperliquid has? You have people like Kook talking about it. You have people like Clemente talking about it. You have people on crypto Twitter talking about the Hyperliquid all the time. And so, that's the reason why I think it's not just about, it's about like, performance and speed. That's a part of the user experience, but also, just all together, I think it is, just speed. How does it, like, are you worried when you use it? Can you get in and out of trades really quick without worrying? That's one thing that they're really good at.
100%. I couldn't agree more. And the final thing here is Google secures 8% stake in Bitcoin miner TeraWulf through 3.7 billion AI hosting deal. So nothing to do with Bitcoin, but it does look like these Bitcoin miners are actually going for other revenue right now, and that revenue is through AI generating compute. So first off, this gets me bullish as shit on Tau. Because that's what Tal's doing, right? Basically when you mine it. So I don't know why I saw this. I was like super bullish on Tal, but Google secures 8% stake. Google wants to own the product that they're using. Do you think some of these miners maybe stop mining Bitcoin and go full AI? Because that is kind of where the money's at. And the Bitcoin part of it might not be, unless hash rate drops and they're able to win more blocks. Do you think that potentially we should be worried about these miners going into AI?
Well, if if this does happen, then the Bitcoin Core needs to take very seriously of the incentive structure and how to incentivize these miners better than the way that they do. And they're so worried about just being stuck in like 2009. I know that there's been quite a bit change to with the upgrades and stuff since 2009, but they're not as much comparable to other chains. Do we need to worry about this? Yes, and I'll tell you why. I know specific small, medium-sized miners. I would say he's more on the smaller side, but did extremely well, right? He has a warehouse in the Midwest, and but his size with the power that was coming out, and I think Bitcoin was at like 65,000, something like that, so maybe 70. He pivoted to AI because like he just wasn't profitable at that price with Bitcoin and stuff like that. I think they were still running a couple rigs before, but still, majority of his compute was being delegated to AI because he was making more money that way. So if it starts with these small ones, because the bigger ones kind of like they can withstand like the cost of energy and all that stuff during Bitcoin's downtime, but eventually, if the AI stuff is that lucrative to where it made these smaller miners say, okay, look, like he could afford probably being in Bitcoin until it shot up, and I'm not sure if he pivoted some back, but like it was just more lucrative for him to do AI. Like it just made more. His business was running much better. All those things. Then these bigger companies start to see it, and they're like, okay, this is where we can utilize our GPUs and make more at the end of the day, right? So I don't know. I mean, if it continues this way, if it's like this and Bitcoin is 117,000 and they're doing this, yeah, I would say worry because they're decent sized companies doing it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's time to start, figuring out how Bitcoin can get fees, right? And I think that's something they're saying, oh, we don't have to worry about that for 100 years. No, wake up, because now AI generating compute is way more profitable than it is, and you're using the same amount of energy, right? Because Bitcoin's hash rate is so astronomical right now, it's just insane. So you have to use so much power to get so much. So it really, my bad, that kind of messed me up. But yeah, so basically we have to figure out ways to get fees now. And there is no waiting 100 years anymore. We need to get the fees now. And the only way to do that is layer one Bitcoin. And what we're doing in the Bitcoin ecosystem right now, putting out ordinals, putting out runes. I think it's time for these mining companies to start putting out products so they don't have to pivot.
Yeah. I mean, so I think the idea behind like the fundamentals of what NAT represents, the idea behind it, not necessarily like the ecosystem, the idea behind
shit out of that.
But I mean, but I'm just saying though, like the incentivizing part, right? Like you got to come up with something. And if it's like, with ordinals, they do make more if there's more transactions that go through, right? So I mean, it's already there with that, right? But the problem is the de-promotion of it. Right. So like whenever Core and you have dummies like Jack Dorsey and Ocean Mining and stuff like that are like, saying that ordinals are bad for the space and all that stuff. They're not thinking about this, or they're just, they're billionaires in themselves. And then Jack Dorsey's goal in his life, I guess now for the rest of his life, is just to make sure that Bitcoin is peer-to-peer cash. That's the most used peer-to-peer cash in until he dies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's all he talks about, right? That's like his whole goal. He does yoga and that.
I mean, your NAT question though, they're not going to want a coin that just it's going to be there forever. There's no reason to hold it. Like it doesn't make any sense to hold that. You sell it, get the money, dump it on that community, and then you buy Bitcoin with it, right? So there's no reason to give them other coins. They're not going to keep them. They're not going to hold them. So they're all going to go to zero. And if you do hold, if there's community that holds them, you're gonna get dumped on every day, especially when they wake up and say, "Oh, what's this?" Right? Or it makes it worth it to hire a team to kind of just sell these every day. You're not going to hold a token that just inflates and like forever.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think they have like
a
I think
finite supply. None of that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, they have a finite supply. So the solution that you're talking about is promote the on-chain economy, basically.
Yes.
To increase transactional volume, to
create ordinal collections,
to incentivize these miners to make more money, those kind of things. And then, but what if they do that, and the on-chain economy grows by 10?
Yeah.
But the miners are still kind of just doing their own thing. Core is the one that's really promoting it, and the miners aren't really, getting involved with the on-chain.
Well, miners don't need to get involved. They just got to make enough money not to move to AI.
Yeah.
Right. So if they're making enough money, if they're getting 3.15 Bitcoin, but then 3.15 Bitcoin every block in fees, they're gonna be like, oh, well, we don't need to pivot. We're happy where we're at. We're a Bitcoin miner. But when and it is going to get harder competition once you're seeing a lot of these miners kind of go into the compute area, to where OpenAI and Grok and all, they're not going to be buying it up as much as they are now, because there's so much of it, right? So there is going to be a point of that, but I still think that there's a lot of time from now to then that they got to figure out ways to keep the miners mining Bitcoin instead of using that power to mine the compute.
Yeah.
But let's jump into the next thing here. Let's kind of get into the crypto fear and greed here. So last week we're at a 59. Yesterday we're at a 68. We're pretty much where we were last week, which kind of is weird to me because we had such a big week.
Last week was a 59, you said?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so I would say 60.
Nope, 59 right there.
Oh, okay.
So it is right there, though, so that isn't bad. So, yeah, sitting at 59. But, yeah, man. Yeah, so let's jump into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, they're building they're building a leverage platform. Think Hyperliquid over there on Botanix. Botanix is calling them their number one DApp. They put out a tweet earlier this week, and that was really cool. We're going to be doing an airdrop video on how you guys can potentially get some airdrops for the Botanix ecosystem, and I think Artura is going to be number one. Easiest way to potentially get points from Artura is to kind of go over there, just bridge over to Botanix, use a little bit of money, low leverage, low money, and you guys can earn points that way, or you can deposit into their vault. But I highly recommend just doing some trades, right? Do some trades on their ecosystem. There's only like 20, 30 people on there, so their points is going to be very heavily weighted to the people that are there. So definitely want to check that out, and go over and check out Artura.finance today.
Absolutely, man. Excited for what they're going to bring. I'm going to be really excited. More excited as well once the synthetic Bitcoin fungibles and the synthetic derivatives are added to the platform. So that's what I'm really excited to jump into. But that team is amazing. And don't forget, we're going to be going over Sunday during our live stream about the new details of the Artura show in collaboration with OnChain Revolution as well. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out, guys, on the YouTube side. Smash that like, sub to the channel, turn your notifications on, all that good stuff. It helps us out. And then on X, share the space. Let's get as many people as possible in here. We appreciate you guys. Abstract as well, the Abstract crew. Share the stream, all that great stuff. Kick, Twitch, and Spotify. Well, let's get into some Bitcoin price action, starting with the hour chart, which looks oogly boogly. Man, this has been pretty nasty since all-time high got slapped here at 124,564. That's why I hate when it slaps it, because that's where it just like slaps it and runs away. It's like, tag, you're it. And now we have seen this bloody waterfall going down since Wednesday. Ugh. All right, let's see. We thought we were over here, but it looks like it wants to go down further. We did wick down to 116. Gosh dang, 116,600. This is the hour chart. And you can see what I mean a little bit, I guess, by the sell pressure not being as intense as it was here for this first, huge leg down. We didn't get much of a buy up. I thought it was going to be definitely stronger than that. But let's see how long it lasts for heading into this weekend, right? Do we get some sort of buffer today? Do we get a little bit of seller exhaustion on Friday? I hope so. We starting off bloody, so we could see something like an seller exhaustion happening in like the afternoon, evening, right, and then leading into the night, and then Saturday kind of like your scalper day, right, your trader day, and then Sunday could be the day that we say we continue on. We shall see. Let's take a look at the support and resistance levels today, because yesterday, this definitely gave us a pretty good guidance on how the rest of yesterday would go. I said tread, kind of tread sideways with downtrend. And I said that we were losing in all those areas, and if we broke down, we could kind of see a fall, and that's what happened. But let's see what's happening here. Going back to data from midnight. Let's pull it in a little bit here. I want to start here. I think that's fair. All right, let's see. All right, we are going to start from 2 a.m. Okay, let's take a look here. All right, the price point that we're at right now is the 117,450. I would say we are losing. The resistance definitely has the advantage here. Decent amount. We do rebalance here though, right at 117,300. So if we can kind of stay strong here, and these are two areas that has a little bit more volume than most of the, it's this area, and this area. The further the bars are out, the more volume that is. So that's good that we have some support right here, right underneath it. So if it tries to bang down here, we at least have that support to kind of keep it ping-ponging back and forth in between here. Below that, we are showing support levels at the 117,200 and a little bit of a rebalance here at the 117,100. So these areas have less volume. So if we do shoot down aggressively, that wouldn't be great. So really, I think we need to hang down here and then start to try to build some, comeback here in the 117,450. Really, we need to get some bids on the buy side to come back here, because this can only hold for so long. We're kind of getting dominated in this area, while this is more of a rebalanced, and they even have the resistance even has the advantage here. But let's hope that we can kind of hold on here. I definitely don't want to see another wick kind of come down here. That would not be good. Below here, we lose here, then it's free fall. You can see, I mean, there's just not any volume at all starting down here. We'll see if, hopefully that doesn't happen. So, I would say we still got to give the advantage to the bears here. I would say, again, a little bit weaker than yesterday, though. I would say still, though, sideways with a little bit of a downtrend possibly. If we lose this, though, I don't know. Could be maybe a 115 scenario. We'll see. All right, the 4-hour situation here. So I hate this. You can see here the MACD is showing that we have lost control again. We look like we were trying to exhaust the 4-hour, which would have been great. It even wanted to curl up here, and then we see the sell pressure just kind of dominating again with the fast line pointing kind of down there. We want to see this curl up and cross the orange line there so we can see a reversal, but it does definitely show that we're still in the sell pressure. So that 1-hour chart really needs to get us out of this mess here in the 4-hour that we've created. So we'll see what happens there. The weekly chart is not looking too good. It has been red, green, red, I guess. We'll see if we finish it red on Sunday, but we shall know here in a couple days. But yeah, if we do get a strong red candle, that wouldn't be good, because that, pretty much going to tell us that it wants to close out of this this buy pressure here. But let's take a look here. So like we were in sell pressure from February to April, right? So if you look at that, February, March, April, so 3 months. Then we started the buy pressure May, June, July, August. Buy pressure for 3 months. Do we get a little bit of sell pressure for September, parts of July or parts of August in September? Oh, man, I just feel like if it's going to be in August, I would think it would be at the last week, maybe ending the month. But I don't know. This doesn't look too great yet, right now at least. And so I think we got to see how this week ends out, and then see how this Sunday we get maybe a little bit of a reversal here. But let's take a look at Ethereum now. Ethereum, This is the one that kind of just makes me kind of sick here. But again, we did fly past $4,000. You got to remember that. And we went to 4,700. Now it seems like the retracement is here. We did wick all the way down to 44. Now we're kind of hanging around 44.30. But this MACD is showing me, it does not look good. On the hour chart, at least. We need to turn this around. Let me add the stochastics and see what kind of, I want to see something on the monthly chart. Okay, so, all right, so the hour, we just got down here. We definitely need to turn things around here on the hour. Let's go to I want to see something though. All right, so this is the chart that I've been looking at a lot. And you guys know that. You can see that, we have definitely passed above that 4,000 mark convincingly. How far do we retrace? Again, like I said, this is a strong start to August. Not start, we're in the middle of it, but candle. So this might get cut down some, and that's okay. We did run the 4,700, but let's look at the stochastic RSI here. So the stochastic, the fast line is at 72. When we're not even in overbought territory yet. If you overbought territory starts on this stochastic RSI at 80. So we got 8 points from the fast line, right? So if you count an average between 72 and 47 is the slow line, right? Then it's probably somewhere in between, like at 60, 62, something like that. But that fast line might stall here a little bit, right? And that's actually not bad. If we stall here and hang out and we pull back to like 65 and then we push up again, that's going to be explosive to me, in my opinion, for the stochastic, right? So if we stall here, we hanging around, maybe we hang around between 42 and 44, right? We're just kind of going back and forth between 42, 44. And we kind of hang around here and then we explode up. I'd be happy with that, because at that point we're going to cross over 80. And I think at that point, that's whenever we cross over the new all-time high. Because the setup just looks so good. The MACD looks great for something like that as well. Because like if we pull down, we chop down this green candle a little bit. We don't curl that fast line on the MACD, but we just kind of stall it a little bit, just a little bit. And then we get to, like I said, range between 42 and 44. And then when it's go time, at that point, we pop up above 80 points on the stochastic. Because this is, to me, this is bullish. The fact that if you look back here, the first time that we tried to go to 4,000 in 2024, first time that we tried to cross it, I mean, our stochastic RSI was at 93. Okay. Second time we were at, it started coming down. You can see here, it started coming down. So we were coming down here, but like the fact that we are on the upside, it's more comparable to this, because this is the first attempt in 2024. This is our first attempt in 2025. Okay. So it's definitely gonna be way more comparable to this. This was coming out of a bearish into a bullish. So if we were there at 93 and we didn't even cross over 4,000, imagine where we're going to be at 93 here. And we're already at 4,400 right now. And we're at a 70, 72. You get where I'm coming from with that? So if we get to that 93,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
If we get to that 93 on the stochastics, I imagine that's when we're at 52, 5,300, somewhere around there, right? We have a new all-time high. So that is how I see Ethereum, guys. And I know that I've been a giga bull on ETH this entire month, but that's why, though. It's not just because I'm pulling it out of my butt and just saying, oh, Tom Lee's and that's it. There's reasons why, technical reasons and fundamental reasons. And that's like the sharp links, the Tom Lee's and the institutions. When those work together, when you have both those together, it's hard not to be bullish. But here, looking at the crypto bubbles really quick, it's not great. Fartcoin, we'll start with it because it is a leading indicator for us. It is down 9.8%. What is the price on this? I got a position
93.
Is it 93 cents? Oh my God, that is not good. All right, Fartcoin is at 93 cents here, guys. But yeah, so pulled back 9.8%, about 10% there. You got Arbitrum pulling back 9.2%, Dog Whiff pulling back 8.4%. I'm gonna hit on the big ones. Uniswap pulling back 4.4, ETH pulling back 4.3, Sonic pulling back 5.1. You got Curve Finance pulling back 7.9. Any other huge ones in here? OKB pulled back 8.7, but it had a freaking hay day of a week, a hay week, I guess you could say. But yeah, so that's the top 100 there. Let's take a look here at the top 200. Zora continually pulling back at 11.6. You got Gala pulling back 5.7. Brett pulling back 7.3. Useless is pulled up 8.1. I guess that's that Coinbase riding on that Coinbase.
I think it's the Binance. They got listed on Binance. I think
oh, that's true. That's true. Yesterday, Binance as well. ZBCYN or ZBCN. Courtney Johnson smiling. It's up 4% there. And yeah, I mean, let's go over like Pulse. PulseX pulling back 3.6%. And where is Hex? Dog pulled back 4.8%. Yeah, guys, it's not, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here. It's about 90% pullback in the markets, and so that's it. But look, don't get super discouraged by this. Just know that it's okay to have a correction after an extremely bullish week and a half.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of those things where it is Friday, right? Which is like the best part about this red, because it would normally happen. So when Friday's red or Friday's green, the opposite normally happens on Sunday. It's a lot of people coming into the markets and either selling or buying when there's low liquidity. So nothing really, nothing really happens. So I am thinking tomorrow could be a little bit red in the beginning, and then Sunday is going to be very, very green in my opinion. I think that anyway. I remember Jackson Hole next Friday, so we're gonna be during our show. We're going to be probably doing a lot of volatility. I think he's talking at like 11 o'clock on.
Can we just get rid of him?
I mean, Trump's trying. He's trying. He tells him he's an idiot every day. I don't know. But let's jump into the next thing here, which is roll call. And every single day we like to track that first comment of the day. And today it is my guy Webdro. He was being nice all week. He was letting other people have it, but he said, "No, I got to get my W today." So shout out to Webdro, my man. And you have your 44th win of the year. Congratulations to you, my friend. And I'll show the screen real quick. Yeah, you got 44. KDN had one this week. Merlin's Lucky won this week. Yuri won this week. Last week had a couple of number ones too. You had Hyper Sapien, Rare Stats Dom, and One Equals X. So shout out to you guys, man. And I'm not showing my screen. Shout out to you guys, man. So Webdro, KDN, Imam, Yuri, and all you guys. But yeah, awesome. All right. Let's jump into what you guys are saying. Webdro with a whole bunch of cool stuff. Oh, my guy. He's loaded up for another sex listing liquidity. Yeah, I don't think Kraken's listing Liquidium. Liquidium is something that the team has like 30-40% of, and I don't think they feel comfortable listing runes that are not memes right now. So that's
really
the only problem with that.
But what about other projects that the team like? Doesn't like Chainlink have a lot of the supply, and other teams have like a lot of?
Yeah, I just don't think they're listing any runes,
utility stuff,
meme coins. Yeah,
not yet.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I just can't see them listing Liquidium. We'll see. I hope so though. Tim Baker says Webdro got it, my guy. Yeah, Webdro did get it. Webdro said thanks, Tim Baker. Merlin's Lucky's here with a Merle. Shout out to Merle. And that's one thing cool about thing. It's like Merle is kind of like the noises some animals make. But yeah, so congrats Webdro GM. OnePlus ad is here. He said trap bears, trap them in. Okay, this is a question for you, Yagobi. I think I know more about this than you do, though. He said, "Hi, Mr. Yagobi. What are your thoughts on Pulse Chain ecosystem?"
I mean, I think that they're going to have a shit ton of liquidity and capital to make that ecosystem run whenever it's time. So I'm actually, so it's degen as hell, number one. So take that with however you will. I can, like when I say degen, I mean like it's Richard Hart and the Hex, like House of Cards. And, and so, but that doesn't matter when timing meets like opportunity, right? Like whenever, and like Pulse definitely can have a 2021 moment this cycle. You know what I mean? In terms of like their chain, they have a ton of Ethereum that was in their sacrifice system, which looks genius now.
Sitting there, yeah.
And what do you think is going to happen whenever it's like full on degen bull market time? They're going to unleash the Kraken, not Kraken the chain, but like the liquidity, and they're going to get a bunch of House of Cards stuff going. And you can make a ton of money doing that. But you better get out. You plan your get out as soon as you get in. Like, no, before you get in.
Well,
So.
the thing is, dude, like Hex is still looking very strong. I mean, Hex is one of the coins that really didn't drop during the bear market. I mean, it was like, I want to say like 40 cents at
It
the
did
height
drop a
of
lot at one
2022.
point.
Well, I'm from the site the set of 2022. It did drop down to a penny, but now it's back to like 7-8 cents. It's one of the stronger, definitely the strong. I mean, that was complete euphoria. It was like 2 weeks where it went from like 2 pennies to like 40 cents. So I mean, it was immediately going to drop back
that
down.
was whenever they were like their system was full in effect. I mean, it's literally an MLM type of thing. They were doing like tours across the US where they had like people like talking about it and just getting cult members. But hey, it worked.
Dude, no, it is a cult, but 100%, it is the number one cult in all of crypto. But I
More
think
than
that
XRP?
the chains, oh yeah, by far, the chain sucks. The chain's garbage. I've used it. I bridged in. It's not a good experience at all. I have
And that
transactions
whole
that are still
situation was
stuck.
just like so like janky. Like
Yeah.
remember, like he was like, "Oh man, we're gonna build like the best like chain. It's gonna be like a custom fork of Ethereum." And then like I think he paid someone from Fiverr to. No, just kidding, not from Fiverr, but
No,
but it was like some dude that like literally just forked it. And Eric Wall the whole time was just like beating up the whole like it was like this war between Eric Wall and Richard, which I think they're friends in real life actually, because they act like they kind of get along too. But it was funny during that time. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be a money making opportunity, but I think it's one that you got to plan to get out of things in there. It's not for me. I would never long term hold it. I would play it this cycle, make a ton of money. You could probably make 6 figures. You might be able to make 7 figures, and then you get out. But I could be wrong.
This is like XRP though, dude. This is something I think is going to go up forever. And just in the sense of it might dump in the bear market.
Well,
but
remember,
I think it comes back.
Hex got beat up too. You got to remember whenever they did the new coin.
Yeah,
remember they did
altcoin coin now. Yeah.
They got a lot of FUD from all that.
Well, no, it's because they basically gave you a copy of everything you had in your ETH wallet, right? So, but they said, hey, the Pulse chain hex is the real hex, right? And there, everyone's like, oh, okay. So it wasn't a lot of FUD because whatever you had, you doubled your supply.
Well,
like,
I think, but people were buying a bunch of the old Pulse chain coins still because of like they thought it was going to be just the same one for the new chain, just bridge it. But that wasn't the case. Remember, like you couldn't.
Well, no, you got a copy of it though. That's the thing. So it's like whatever you had at snapshot, which was like a few days before the chains opened, you got on the other side. So it's like whatever you had, you have.
But then if you bought it after the snapshot, you lost.
You lost. Yeah, 100%. And that's where, but he said it. If you listen to the guy's words, I mean, he said, don't buy this and expect it to be, you expect 1-to-1. So it's kind of like with any snapshot, really. It's kind of like what Jake did too with the migration. It's like, you got to pay attention.
Ghosty did that too.
Exactly. Rare Stats Dom says your Billy Cats will do better. I freaking hope so. Those Billy Cats,
I have a lot of them.
Yeah. WebDro is here. Shout out to WebDro again. Abstracts is bullish on bearish MT. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Bitcoin is Truth is here. Shout out to Bitcoin and Truth. K99. Vader time is here. Let's go, guys. Spindrift, my guy, every day. Appreciate you, my friend. Satoshi Nakamoto says Friday shows are the best. Hustle. Yeah, we're gonna have hustle in 15 minutes here. Chips and Dips is here. Says when token this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then we got Glass Hoppers says Bitmap Emporium. I think it's dead, honestly.
I don't know where that guy went. What was his name again?
Disappeared. Cash grab Limitless. He cash grabbed and now he's gone.
Those are just remember those guys during whenever Ordinals comes back, because Ordinals will come back. Shizzy and I were talking. We had a partner meeting, and we always this was a partner we always shoot the shit with a lot, and I was talking about the Ord indexer and what that's going to look like in 5-10 years, and I think it's going to be in a standard, you know what I mean? Like people are going to look at it as something highly respectable, and it's going to be the main standard, right? And you said that RAF has a company, and that company is going to be something that slowly grows over time, but it could be formidable, and like that's going to be a standard for rare sats, for ordinals, early inscriptions, all that stuff. It starts there and it grows into something crazy strong. And once that happens, just remember the people that like didn't stay.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Yep. Who came, money grabbed. It was funny though, because he did leave came back for the money grab, and then left again.
Well,
So,
and the thing is, people have different like
I mean, we gave him like
stamina.
$500.
Yeah, like stamina and like of staying in like the ecosystems and stuff. And it's like there's just some people that just like for us, we have a show. We're never gonna leave,
Yeah.
and we just wouldn't anyways because we developed a community. But also, I don't know what's going on in their Discord as well. So maybe
That's
it's a
true.
totally different thing
That's true.
situation.
I haven't been over there in a while. Hydro Sapien is here. Then we got Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out that Cash Cats himself, my guy. Appreciate you every single day, brother. He's Stan says with the new LTC Treasury backing, what's the channel predicting for LTC future with their new token? I just don't care enough to look into it. Would you look into any of that crap?
I didn't look into it, but I think they always have an opportunity. And it's because they're so legacy. And you know, as much as you're probably not into Litecoin and stuff like that, one thing I think I can speak for you on, I feel this way. I think there's a respect for Charlie Lee for being that early pioneer of, you know, he started Litecoin. He's a smart guy. But it's like, I don't think that just the tokenomics or anything is going to really boost it. I think when you zoom out, it's an early enough legacy asset that number probably always go up, even if it's going to be incremental or whatever that percentage is compared to the hotter early ones. You know what I mean? But I think they have an opportunity because they are so early in legacy that they could say, okay, we want to build, we want to make something exciting or something. You know what I'm saying? They have an opportunity because not everybody has that same opportunity of being an early legacy asset, digital asset like that. So
I think proof of work is dying on the sense of you can make more money with AI, with compute, right? So I think, you know, not only Bitcoin guys are pivoting, I think a lot of the proof of work.
Well, the hash power is a lot cheaper for LTC and Doge and stuff, right?
It is, but the reward still is the reward's not there, right?
Yeah.
The rewards, I mean, it's shit. Like
it's rich,
and it halves every 4 years. I think the days of proof of work are coming to an end. Not for Bitcoin at all, but I think the other ones have a lot to worry about. You know, especially when like Doge is having every single day, right, or something like that. I forget its tokenomics, but it's getting lower and lower. But you have to worry about these miners pivoting to. I would not be any proof of work besides Bitcoin. That's just my opinion. I think a lot of people are moving into AI. Until AI gets oversaturated, then they'll come back, but we'll see. Stan said, has the channel reviewed Sui's gaming portal? I got to get over there.
No, we are going to. Like we took a look at the market caps of some of the tokens yesterday, and I know somebody that hit like a 6-figure like quickly. It was in Q4 of last year off of their meme launchpad and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity there. I'll say that. And when Tokyo Wallet, one of our partners, they just announced that they support Sui. So on the new Tuesday BTC zone, that's going to be heavily, involving Sui builders. I think we had Ika on for Spaces last Tuesday. They're a parallel MPC provider. So to bridge to Ika from Bitcoin, it's like a snap. The way they do it is like literally 2 seconds, and for us, we're not used to that. Right.
Nope.
So
100%. Stan said, what's the appeal of Hyperliquid that's causing hysteria and can sustain banks? It's basically decentralized Binance, right?
Yeah, basically, if any US people wanted to trade perps and stuff with Binance, you had to use a VPN. You had to go through all the KYC and all that, et cetera, et cetera. And then Binance US was just kind of not the same thing. And you didn't have to use a VPN, but like they didn't offer perps on there. It's all spot. So basically what Hyperliquid did was use a decentralized narrative to allow people to trade. You still have to use VPN if you're in the US, but like you don't have to KYC at all. They're quick. They do the referral stuff. You earn fees if you refer yourself or your friends. So I mean, all the stuff that you got to do, and then also they have a whole nother side of it to where they have loyalists. This is a big thing with crypto. You guys got to understand, especially if you guys are newer to crypto. You can literally build a tribe here by doing something, good for your community. And Hyperliquid, basically all the activity for their early traders gave them an airdrop that was performed amazing. And, you're talking about a large airdrop, like probably 100 million plus in terms of value. And the number went up post airdrop. It actually messed us up because we got a Magic Eden airdrop and we were like, dude, oh my god, this supply is a little bit smaller than
I know.
Hyperliquids. And but the reason why is because Hyperliquid has in their business model that they use a decent portion of their fees, their trading fees, to buy their token back. So that's a whole nother tribe, that part of their community that really cheers them on is the people that got the airdrop and the people that hold the token. So there's two aspects to it. So that's why there's a lot of hype. Can they sustain? Shizzy thinks no. Shizzy thinks that they'll run into, well, I'll let you explain that part if you want to.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna run into the same wall that UST did, and that is the centralized people that don't want a decentralized version of them, and they're gonna get hit. And they're gonna get hit hard, but I do think they get to $120 before that happens.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying is, in my opinion, is the way I take it is that like someone's gonna try to sabotage them.
Not someone, many people
are gonna try to sabotage them, and they're gonna be successful. I think that like the sabotaging of USDT was, or UST, right?
UST.
Yeah, UST was because there was an algorithm like flaw. There was an algorithm flaw in terms of the approach of being able to create the downward tornado spiral on. Yeah, he thought he was so brilliant having the Luna token with UST like working together in this algorithmic stablecoin with basically Luna's getting the value from USDT and then vice versa. It's like it's backing the USD. So like once that tornado started to happen, it was like there was nothing that they could do. Like it was just basically shorting it all the way down.
Because Sam Bankman-Fried and his venture company, they decided to sell down a lot of their assets and then dump Terra Luna. They were actually using exchange funds to short it. They were shorting it. They were paper shorting it, which means they weren't even selling the assets. They were making it look like they were selling the assets. Sam Bankman-Fried destroyed it because he wanted the regulations and stuff for the stable coins and stuff like that. He didn't want that to be a factor.
Well, not just
regulation
him,
and stuff that he was trying to. Well,
his mentor that would visit him all the time.
Exactly.
You know who I'm talking about?
And everything else.
The big one, the SEC one.
Oh, Gary Gensler, but Kevin O'Leary didn't want it either. Kevin O'Leary hated it because he actually has a share of Circle. So it's one of those things where this was same thing happened.
Circle American company, and then UST, a big Asian company that's thriving, right? Because he was from Korea, thriving and dominating. They actually had a legitimate ecosystem with good developers on their chain and stuff.
But that's kind of why they wanted to get rid of it. They didn't want that to be the norm. They want to get rid of decentralized coins. Same thing here. We have a decentralized market maker. We have a decentralized thing. What's going to happen? You're going to have guys like Binance, guys like Bybit, guys like, so on and so on. Coinbase has perps now. They're not going to want this to be alive. They want those fees. And if more and more people go to Hyperliquid, and more people will give them bigger and bigger target on their back, and they will attack this. And we've seen in the past, they've gave little snippets of an attack.
Little snippets or these?
They were little snippets. They were little compared to what they can do.
Well, we don't know. We don't know how formidable the Hyperliquid is. Like
all you got to do is short some of the smaller tokens, so where it's like they got to pay up like $1 billion, because with shorting there's no ending to short. If the
that's what happened. That's what happened with Luna. It's because it became a waterfall effect, and all these big
happen.
And they enjoyed it too, because Do Kwon was kind of not
and they all shorted it, and they all made money because they all shorted the token.
But karma came back to SBF though.
It did. But I'm just saying though, it is possible if 4 exchanges got together and they also
are they not planning
for exchanges,
that?
Paper short them, so they have to dip over there as well. And we go over there with huge money and we do shorts, and they don't have enough money to pay that back. They go and solve it. Same thing happened at FTX.
So are they not planning for Doomsday event?
I think they should.
They are. They have to be.
How do you prepare for that? Besides being centralized and saying shut it down.
I mean, that's what they did, and it worked.
Yeah, but it worked for one token. What happens if it's consent? If they open it back up and they do it again? You
just have alerts, and then you just shut it down after. Like you're not gonna let.
Now you're. What do they do it constantly? What do they do it every single time they open back up?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know,
You're going to close down the service? I mean, that you could seriously close down the service that way.
Well, I mean, so they did it the first time and it saved.
And imagine if you're short and then they shut it down. And you're like, fuck, like what the fuck? Or you're long and they shut it down. You're like, what the? You're more and more users are going to leave the system as well.
Yeah, but there's more that didn't lose. Like losing opportunity to actually lose it. Some people count it the same opportunity and what you actually
Same
lost.
thing to me. Yeah.
Well, but my point is there's gonna be like 95% that didn't. They're like, oh my god, I'm glad that they did this because we could have lost all of our liquidity in the vaults or something. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying is that as long as they can continually make 95% of their user base happy. I mean, we've seen in our small ecosystem, as long as you're trying to consistently make it happy,
it doesn't matter though. If you go insolvent, you go insolvent. They're going to push them to
no, but they're stopping the insolvency is what I'm saying. They catch it before they can go.
But I'm just saying that we saw a little taste. It was a tester. What happens if it's consent? What if it keeps going and going and going and going?
You just
what happens if they have 1,000? You're going to stop it for a week.
Well, you might. I mean, I don't know about for a week, but if they continue to go, you're also going to have a team to see where that's coming from too.
It's coming from the exchanges. They're paper shorting everything. So there's nothing you can do.
I mean, we'll see. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's because why haven't they done that already?
Because they don't want to yet. It's not big enough. It's not big enough to destroy.
Well, it's not big enough. They're doing $7 million in revenue a day.
It's still not taking, but they're not still.
It's the largest.
Yeah, on chain. It's not largest. Binance and them, they're still doing insane amounts of money. They're okay right now. But eventually down the line, they're going to attack it.
Binance is doing more than Hyperliquid right now in daily fees.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, 100%. Binance is the biggest exchange in the world.
I know they were for perps, but I don't know.
No, they are.
Anymore.
Hyperliquid isn't close yet. But let me keep going when you check that out. So in crypto, pivoting away from Logan Paul and Kim Kardashian is a sign of maturity. Yeah, I think we pivoted a long time away from that shit. And that never got real people. That was just normies came online. Cash Cat says I could see Liquidium listing on Kraken. Yeah, I just don't see it. I do see it long term, just not in this little window that we're in right now. Last time I've been waiting for a red week so I could buy. Well, you got a great opportunity right now, man. Paulie says 21 billion mem supply, dog 100 billion. Who gets to $1 first, dog or mem? I gotta say mem because it's 1/4 of the
smaller,
price.
Right?
Yeah, 1/4 of the supply.
I mean, if dog gets to $1, that's a huge win.
Yeah, myself says POW will never go away. I'm not saying go away. I'm just saying you're gonna see a lot of miners pivot to AI. Which takes hash rate down pretty far, which could allow 51% attacks, like we've seen with Monero. I think that was another test for a lot of these POWs, but we'll see. Yeah, but Monero's dead basically. So Monero, Monero is proof of work, same thing, right? So you got to worry about the miners leaving, and hash power is easy to sustain because you're not destroying the coin. That's the difference between proof of stake is like to destroy the network, you have to destroy your monetary value, right? So you have to hold the coin to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Myself says PDAI is 160x away from its target. Yeah, PDAI is a stable coin or something. I don't know. And then myself says Uncle Sam is insolvent. Well, not because they can print money. So if Hyperliquid can print money, then go ahead, go for it. But what were you saying?
So I don't know what their updated revenue is, but in 2024, I'm sure they lost some of the share, but in 2024 they were doing 30 million a day. Yeah. And so in 20 well, I'm just saying 2024 they've lost some of that share to Hyperliquid.
But it's more bullish this year. So they're probably doing around the same even with the loss.
I don't know. I mean, we know for a fact that they're doing 7 million a day at Hyperliquid, but let's just say that they're doing around the same. So then why would Hyperliquid not want just to stay where they are? You know what I'm saying?
But by Binance hitting Hyperliquid's getting bigger and bigger. They're gonna.
That's what I'm saying. But like if strategically, why would you do that if you know that they're gonna come after your head?
There's nothing you can do. But you're gonna tell people, hey, don't trade here.
No, I mean,
it's just the thing is people want to come on chain, right? That's kind of where we're going, and so you're gonna see more and more people come on chain. Well, Binance is they're gonna make them feel it eventually.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see though. That's for sure. Because
I'm at $120, I'm shorting it. I'm going on Hyperliquid and I'm shorting the hype token. No. I'm gonna go on Andres. I'm gonna short the hype token. But yeah, man. But that is your roll call for today. Damn, that was a long one. We do have news from the trenches. Should we just wait for Adam?
What, to kind of go over that?
Yeah, I guess
Well,
we
I
can get
mean,
into it now. And
yeah,
bring
we
him up
can.
when
It's
midway
it's
through.
not very long. It's
All right, cool.
pretty short actually today.
All right, guys. This is a new segment that we have started yesterday, but start a couple days ago. We're gonna do this new thing called News from the Trenches. We're actually gonna get a little song and a little mascot for it as well. So you definitely want to check that out. But let's jump into some news from the trenches.
Yeah, it's just real quick. It's not a ton today. Yesterday we talked about a play that I was in called Stupid, and it's a stupid play. I told you guys, if you are sensitive to risk, to avoid at all costs possible. But today's news is a token launched on the Bags launchpad yesterday, and it was launched for the founder Finn, and he was in contact with Mr. Beast and Aiden Ross, and they were doing a fundraiser with the token. And the whole idea was to use the trading fees to raise, and then have Bags be the number one contributor, which they had a list there, and he was number one. He got to 166,000 donated. The token had $32 million of trading volume, only sitting at the all-time high that I saw at. I got in it real quick, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I got in it at like 4 million, got out at like 6, because it just was not sustaining. And I was like, something's going on. I saw a total holder count at like 6,000. The total bot holder account was at 3. So to me, that told me right away, get the hell out of this.
Yeah.
So I got out real quick. After that, I was like, it's like one of those things where your hand's shaking because you're just like, I wanted to flip like 3x. That was it. And like, so I put size in it, and I was just like, okay, I'm out. After I saw that. But the big story of this is he got on an interview. Like, he was on an interview with Mr. Beast and Aiden Ross and whoever. There's always a third guy that's just like their worker. You know what I mean? Like,
that was X, dude. X is.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
No, dude, he's huge, man. He has like $100 million in crypto.
Okay, cool.
He's a big dude.
Well, my bad, X. I don't know you, so my bad.
Yeah, it's like CRX or something. His name, I can't remember.
So anyways, and so then whenever Finn was on there, though, like, he had an opportunity to bring up Bags Launchpad and stuff like that, and he didn't talk about it. And I don't look. I mean, it's Mr. Beast. He's the largest YouTuber and all those things, but like I feel like people that are on camera. That's why it benefits you to go live and stuff like that. Because like, I would be okay being on there. I mean, I'd be kind of feel, oh, this is a big opportunity, but like, it just seemed like the moment might have been a little too big for him. He didn't talk about his platform. I'm sure his investors were really happy about that. He didn't talk about like the token itself. And so that is the news from.
I watched it. He completely fumbled. Like he lost all train of thought. Like, he was just not there. Like
he wasn't
coherent. I guess he wanted to, but he just lost. I mean, his connection was messed up. He said, I don't know. He looked like he was in stage fright. Like, I'm not even joking. So
yeah. Gotcha. But that was the biggest thing that happened yesterday, except for a bunch of people losing a bunch of money, which happens in the trenches. That's why you got to have your tools with you in your toolbox, like, using either GMGN, or you can just use Agent Hustle. And did I just kind of transition into our next segment just now?
You did. Let's do it. So every week we are lucky enough to kind of hang out with our good friends over at Emblem Vault. Emblem Vault is building many things. They're building the jump feature that's going to allow you to jump your ordinal or NFT from chain to chain to chain, something we really need. We have a lot of bridges for tokens, not many for ordinals and NFTs, and they're actually building that. But not only that, they decided to build an AI project that is absolutely number one. In my opinion, there's nothing that's touching Agent Hustle right now. Agent Hustle is a beast, and he can help you trade. And if you're like, hey, Hustle, buy this at this price, sell this price, he can do that for you. He can pretty much do anything for you over there on Solana. And eventually they're going to be EVM and Bitcoin, which is going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. And then they had to build migrate. Not fun. Because they had an issue with their token, and they built it for themselves, and they said, hey, you know what, let's let other people use this. And now they got 12 people signed up, or I'm guessing, I'll let Adam confirm that, but they got a lot of people signed up, a lot of tokens signed up to actually start using this, and a portion of the fees for that are going to buy back the Hustle token. Really excited for everything. This is a flywheel effect, man. The flywheel effect is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and Emblem's always wanted to do this, by the way,
Yeah.
because having conversations with Jake, he was just like, the only thing that stopped us before was regulatory, issues and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so, really excited. And I do want to
More.
clarify the issue that they had with their token initially was two things. One, there's already a tensor out there, but two, launching it with the a pump fund launch pad, the tokenomics just strapped them in to where they couldn't grow no matter how good the product was, because the liquidity control matters. It matters, guys. And so that was the issue. And so they had this amazing transition kind of in-house and developed this product, and everybody said, hey, we have that same pain point. And it was just, that's how some of the best products are made, man. You solve a pain point 100%. For yourself, and then you realize everybody else has the same pain point. So really cool.
Let's get it. So without further ado, let's bring up Adam McBride. Adam, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Flywheel, baby. Flywheel.
Was that you guys who made that up? I hear it all the time now, but I never heard it until you guys started saying it.
This cycle's Ponzi is a flywheel. It's so funny. The team's talking about building the flywheel, yet they have no flywheel. They have no revenue. They have nothing coming into the project. Hopefully we're not that. I know we're not that. Obviously, Migrate Fund has a ton of traction already. I don't know the total number. It was like 3 or 4 teams tweeted out yesterday that they were migrating. Some didn't mention they were using Migrate Fund, but unless there's another Migrate platform out there that I'm not aware of, they're all kind of using Migrate Fund, which is great.
It's weird though that they're not.
I don't think it is. There's obviously we saw, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago or something. There was a lot. We got some pushback, got our first pushback. I'm not going to say it was necessarily pump fun influencers, but let's just say those people were heavily vested in the pump fun ecosystem. Right. So, we'll leave that as it is. But dude, I don't know if Jake talked to you about this. It's like early in Emblem's history, like our first product that completely hit, which was, being able to take your counterparty assets and put them on Ethereum. Bro, that got so much pushback back in the day. Like, oh my God, no. Bitcoin native assets should only trade on Bitcoin. Nothing should happen on Ethereum. Ethereum's a shit coin. We don't have anything to do with it. Like, I'm telling you, like that was an actual conversation in 2021, right? So we normalized, people doing that. I think this is going to be normal. In 2 years, it'll be obvious. But I think it's already obvious for us. I mean, these sort of movements of tokens around blockchains, obviously this is what we do. So it's normal for us, but it does take the market sometimes a little bit of time to catch up. But it's obviously for us, it's exciting. I mean, we've talked on the show 100,000 times about how difficult it is to get a product that hits, to get a winner. And obviously Migrate Fund is a winner, and Hustle's gonna, benefit from that, as we buy back some of the token with what we earn on the platform. And it's gonna be significant. It's not nothing. It's significant. So we're excited about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about that. And we've seen a couple teams and projects try this. Well, one that stands out and is kind of like a bright winner for so far of the cycle so far was Hyperliquid. Did the buyback with the fees earned, and you see what happens, right? You get appreciation from the holders, which any number go up, right? That's what they all want, right?
That's what it's all about.
That's your whole thing is number go up. Technology is where it's at. But I'm curious of like how you guys are feeling in terms of like the reception of Migrate. Also, has Migrate really shown, I guess, like given Hustle like a bigger stage of like what Hustle does, or maybe
totally.
Go into that?
Yeah, I think kind of the reception, I would say prior to us migrating Tensor to Hustle, the reception was wait and see. Let's see how this goes, right? We definitely got that. There were even like Radium and Bonk were like, let's see how this goes before we kind of throw our hat in your ring, right? Which is like, I would have done the same thing. It totally makes sense.
Hope you guys caught that in the audience.
Yeah. But I would say perfect example is we met with the team yesterday. They had messaged us literally like a month ago. And we talked to them for like 2 hours yesterday. And they were like, we almost thought you guys were like, they didn't believe in us. They didn't trust us. Right. And now there have been so many kind of big teams like who are like, yeah, we're using these guys, that they're like now like, oh my God, it was just a matter like there's no decision now. We're definitely doing it. Right. They were like, oh, should we build our own? Maybe, I don't know. Migrate fund is like scam, it's crypto.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge.
Yeah.
Right? And so even though we've been here a long time, that doesn't mean people know about us, right? I mean, we are so siloed. But once kind of these other people and other teams clicked in, they were like, oh my God, wait, why are we even waiting? And then it was just literally a question of how much. I mean, there had been all sorts of crazy. They had heard we were charging, I don't know, all these like outrageous fees, and we were going to charge them fees for the rest of their project. They thought we were like locking them in to like we're taking a percentage of your total revenue or something like that. And once they learned that no, it's just a one-time fee, it's 3.75% of your total value unlocked. That one time, they were like, oh, it's a no-brainer, and so that's kind of where we are now. It's like the floodgates have opened, and I think the only thing missing is the full migration of all these teams, which is a significant technical challenge. I'm not going to lie. This is like significant, but our audit starts on Monday with Halliburton. And we're really confident that it's going to go well, and I don't think there's any question. And then it's game on, right? It's just actually doing these migrations. And I think what that's going to do is as all these big teams migrate, we've already seen price appreciation of teams that have announced, with the interest and stuff that's going on. Then I think it's going to be just game on season where, all these kind of smaller teams are like, wait, why are we sitting here not controlling our LP pool? At a minimum, we should get some of this LP revenue. It's going to be exciting. Definitely a 2-month window here of very exciting stuff for us at Emblem for sure.
100%. And like you guys built Agent Hustle. So if someone's saying they're like, I don't trust this migrate.fund thing, it's like, well, probably 1/10 of the work went into migrate.fund that then went into Hustle, right? Like you guys built this amazing engine like that is just serving people every day. I mean, I saw a thing from you guys yesterday that you have, the amount of people are using has been all-time high.
Yeah, super all-time high. We were kind of, you never really know until you do it if what the response is going to be, right? And so our thought process was once we get to the conditional engine where people are able to strategize with Hustle and then actually trade on platform and have him lay out, a 5-step trading strategy and then execute that, we felt like, okay, what that's going to do is make it sticky, right? And get people to trade on the platform. But it was just an idea. Like until you actually do it, you're uncertain. But certainly since we launched V3 on July 16th or whatever, like we've just seen every number has gone up. The stickiness has gone up. The amount traded on platform has gone up. The amount that people are trading per trade has gone like through the roof. Like it was like, I don't know, $10 or $15 pre-conditional trading. Now it's like we've had days with like $800, people throwing stacks in. And so it's just like this ramp up and that's been really nice. Like Hustle's paying for himself now. Like we were eating, I don't know, $300-400 a day in infra costs. Now he's kind of paying for himself. But beyond that, it's more just like we know we're on the right path, right? It's like people want the conditional trading. They want it bad, right? And now that it's there and it's still rudimentary in my view. And I think, you use it. It's great. People use it, but it's like where he's going to be in 6 months or a year. It's like, bro, it's going to be so on. It's going to be crazy, man. And that's why I try to tell people like, I don't know, oh, Hustle's, he hallucinated or he did that or, I'm like, bro,
hallucinated.
Yeah, bro, these are LLMs, bro. I mean, like, come on, man. Will they get better? Yeah, will they get better? Of course, bro. This is like baby steps. Like, I'm like, don't throw, you're not throwing your full stack in there, right? Obviously, guys, you try it out, you learn. We got some amazing groups. I put out a tweet earlier today. They've created Discords. They're like doing trading groups. They're learning how to prompt. They're doing all this stuff, bro. I'm like, these guys are doing what everybody's going to be doing in a year. And you still have an opportunity. I mean, there's probably there's maybe 1,000 people on earth using LLMs to trade right now, AI agents to trade. There's like edge here for sure.
Yeah.
100% there's edge if you're willing to put in a little bit of work.
And I think the Emblem team is such a breath of fresh air, because I'm not just saying that just to make you guys feel good. I'm honest, because I come from, like, before crypto, I come from being an entrepreneur myself, and the Web 2 side is totally different than being business owner in Web 3. But now you see the fundamentals of good business, or like a corporation forming with Emblem, front facing. You got a very good structured team. Now CEO isn't just like some joke in Web3 anymore. It actually means something, right? You got, in terms of like the CEO, the CMO, you got, just the vital parts of your team, and you're front facing in an ecosystem that is all about being anon almost. Like Solana is like very anon, like, I don't even know. Like I had to find what Elon looked like through, I think, LinkedIn. I think it was the only, like, seriously, like
I don't even know if that's real, frankly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that picture with the curly hair dude, that might not even be him.
Yeah. Joke. But my point that I'm making is this needs to be the standard, and you're gonna see like this team grow into something huge. In my opinion, I have a lot of faith in you guys, and it's gonna be a blueprint, and this is how it should be. And if you're a team out there and you're trying to build, be front facing. These guys have their own show. They're one of our partners, but they have their own show. And because they're personalizing themselves with you, each and every one of them. And they have a team behind them, but these are the guys that are front facing to you guys. So I really appreciate that you guys do that. But where do you guys see yourselves, like, let's say, from your perspective, let's say 12 months down the road? Because we know there's a lot of stuff that you guys going on, and the audience, you guys don't even know half of it.
Yeah,
but you don't have to go into super detail, because I know some stuff needs to be hush hush. But like, like what excites you? Let's go there.
I just think at the core, like, obviously, we had a meeting yesterday with the team, and we have, Emblem itself, the core infrastructure is so large. We've always talked about this. This is literally like a foundation infrastructure piece for Web3, right? But you do, I just reiterated to the team, because we're talking about doing some other projects and all this stuff, and hustle is huge. And I'm like, but you know what? When you get a winner, you lean into the winner, like, period, full stop. So do I love hustle? Like, I think it's the future of crypto, right? Like, I do. But that said, when you have a winner, and Migrate Fund is clearly a winner, I mean, just the need is massive, and the people want it, and they want to use it. Like, this is where our resources go. This is what we do. This is what we're doing right now. This is Migrate Fund, because it's a winner, and we know how rare those are. Like, they're just rare. And so yeah, for the foreseeable future, Migrate Fund is mine and Jake's literally 15 hours a day of DMing people, answering questions, taking care of teams. I mean, basically, what you would call BD, business development. It's literally answering a million questions, because all these teams, this is their most important thing. This is their business, right? And so in the same way that, my reputation matters, and how, our product works reflects on me, it's the same thing for all these, teams. And so, they're going to have a million questions. They're going to have to be handheld. They're going to be, and so it's just working through that, and just 24/7, man, like, literally, answering questions, talking through people, getting on calls, and walking these teams through it. But it's like, I feel fortunate, dude. It's like, to have a winner, it's the best.
But Hustle's a winner as well, because like Migrate.Funds in its ecosystem, and like there's a lot of people that are liking Hustle. I'll just leave it at that.
Bro, do we have 3 winners? Like, it is amazing. All
I do is win.
No, but hey, I'm not saying like this is like easy at all, because it's not. It's a million miles away from easy. We've never had as a company, we've never had enough money. Like, money has always been tight, right? We've never been able to raise from VCs. VCs have never understood, what we're doing, really. They've never grabbed it. It's basically community-led, through tokens that we've been able to survive. And so I'm very appreciative that we've been able to build a community of people who believe in us, right? And trying to bring value back to those people is definitely like, top of our list. And so, but this is what we do, and it's difficult. Like you said, I'm very much of your mindset when the way we're building is transparent, front facing, and like real stuff. And I know the space doesn't always reward that, but I think you're seeing it quite a bit more. I don't know who I'm thinking. I'm thinking of like the Ethos founder who's doing shows and talking about ethos all the time, and just front facing kind of real content. Where I think people, we're coming out of this like weird social media era where it was like Instagram fake, right? Literally everything was fake. And, I'm not saying it's like full authenticity, but the movement towards authenticity is being rewarded now. And I think if you look at like TikTok, I know you guys are on TikTok and stuff. Almost all TikTok stuff now is just literally a person with a camera just talking to the camera.
That's true.
It's FaceTime. It's FaceTime.
Literally FaceTime.
Pretend I'm on FaceTime.
And not to say people can't, we all put on masks. Like I've known, of course, but the reality is that's what people are craving. They're craving
genuine
connections.
Yes.
They're craving it. And so I think this is the next wave of social. And I don't know where it goes or how it goes, but I just think that's what we're definitely trying to do. Obviously you guys are doing the same thing, and it's hard because you see people being rewarded. Literally in crypto, people make millions of dollars with nothing, and it's all fake, and they cash out and they move on. Like that happens. But I think for long-term, like if you want to play a long-term game here, authenticity is the way to go. And people will forgive you. Like even look at like, I don't know, Thread Guy, right? He's done some shit that people don't like, and they've dumped coins on people, and he's dumped on his followers and all this sort of stuff. But at the core thing, when you watch Thread Guy, you think you're connecting with like a real person. Like he's a real person, right? Even though he might be a little bit, kind of California
extravagant
that way. He's kind of California faking a little bit. At the core, like granularly, he feels like a real person.
Yeah, I agree with that.
In a way that like FaZe Banks or whatever does not feel like a real person.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Aiden Ross, none of those guys feel real at all, right? And but Thread, you kind of feel like there's actually like, yes, you'll still catch him like being a fake Cali guy, but then once in a while you'll see like
I think that's just the Cali part.
Yeah.
I have a question about like, I'm really interested in like the team aspect of this, right? Because you guys have an amazing team. You, Jake, Shannon, Bunzi, Chris. I know you guys have a couple more guys as well. But what's it like on a day-to-day basis being with a team like yours? Like, is there anyone in the chat that's like, "Good morning, everyone"? Or take us behind the scenes a little bit. What's it like working with these guys?
I think first and core is that we're friends. Right. I think that's super important. I think that's super important that you respect your teammates. And that respect has to be earned. Right. I think it's like if Jake slacked or if I slacked, like the respect would be lost very quickly. Right. But
that's where communication comes in, right?
Yeah. I mean, communication, but also the hustle. Like I think that's part of like selecting if you are partnering with people, making sure you're of the same mindset of how hard you're going to grind, what you're going to grind on, your level of commitment. And I think very fortunately, Jake and I, when we connected and hooked up with the Emblem team and got on board, Jake and I we're of the same mindset, right? It's literally 24/7. It's literally 365. So it doesn't even, I traveled whatever last week or for 10 days or whatever. I was still online all day, right? It's not like there was no turn off, necessarily. And so I think for us, that allows us to, work really well together. Because I know I never feel like I'm being, taken advantage of, or I'm working harder than everybody else. I know everybody's grinding, right? And so I think for me, that's a big deal. And fairness of, most our developers and stuff, they make more than us, right? But it's our company. Like I've worked for free for my companies for literally years, right? In other companies. So I'm fully comfortable with that. Like keeping good people, paying people who are awesome. You know, it's always a balancing act. You know, as you struggle with money and stuff. But you know, just making sure you keep your good people is obviously another thing. But it's always a challenge, but certainly the core group of people you're working with on a day-to-day, and I'm sure you guys have it too, right? It's like one guy's not doing all the work. If one guy's doing all the work, or you don't feel like supported or like a real team, it can't last. It can't.
Yeah.
People are too sensitive to that stuff. It won't last, you know, in my experience.
Yeah, man, it sounds awesome. It's really like a nice human you know, part of it, right? Because you guys are robotic a little bit with Hustle is a team member technically, right? So that's one thing that's really cool. But yeah, man, it sounds like it sounds awesome. It sounds like a really good relationship between everybody else. Do you think you know, adding more people to that team could mess up chemistry at all? Because that's something that we think about too, right? We want to bring on more people and stuff like that, but do you think that's going to mess up the chemistry at all?
It's funny you mentioned that, because we had this discussion, you know, a day or two ago, right? Because Jake wants this to be a huge company, and I totally get it. But I also see that there are huge companies in crypto who have 7 guys, you know, Radium or whatever, you know, I don't even know, 7 or less than 12 guys, you know, doing millions of dollars a day, right?
Incredible.
Look at I don't know, look at Tether, right? It's like it's basically 5 dudes and 15 lawyers, right? You know,
a lot of they need those lawyers.
They need the lawyers, right? So you know, it's a little bit of a battle, but we discuss it, you know, and I'm like, for me, I don't want to I've been in bureaucracies. I worked in bureaucracies before. I realize how inefficient they are. Adding more people does not make you better, right? So trying to stay completely lean, we talked about it and we agree on it, like as lean as humanly possible, right? Like we go until the wheels fall off, and when wheels are falling off, okay, that's when we hire somebody. Because I just think, yeah, adding more bodies to an inefficient system is not efficiency, right? It doesn't make it better. So and especially being in, you know, a tech space, I'm definitely of the mindset that look, we're not trying to raise money. We're not looking for some, you know, big exit. It's like, no, we're running a company. We're running lean, and, you know, we want to push if we're pushing new products and we need to hire a new person to push like a product, or like with Hustle, our expansion to other chains, like we are going to hire a new dev because we want to move fast. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's where we want to hire one awesome person to help us move fast, so that we can expand to these other chains and basically make Hustle multi-chain faster than anybody else on earth. Like, because we think that's a distinct advantage. So yes, we're looking. So if you guys know anybody,
that's awesome, so funny AI, how that turned out to work out that way.
You know, you guys know an awesome AI dev,
yeah,
have him send me a DM, you know. But that's like the one thing we know we need, and we're looking right now. We basically started that process, but that's a very specific need. And and so I mean, we're at like max capacity with how quickly we can build Hustle right now.
Yeah.
And so expanding to other chains, you know,
so that's the third Easter egg. I hope the audience got that one too. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know if Jake mentioned, you know, who we're partnering with and stuff. So it's pretty exciting. I think we're going to get, you know, Hustle will be getting on some chains very quickly here. And that's going to be, you know, it's just like next step. And once we add one new chain, you know, and integrate it and figure that kind of mechanism out, like it's going to be easier, believe it or not, to go to like Ethereum or Base is actually going to be like maybe a day or two to actually hook them in, because by then we've kind of worked out all the kinks and stuff. And bro, it's going to be multi-chain. It's going to be sick, dude. It's going to be sick, man. I mean, he's already sick, but it's going to be like crazy sick. Like you're going to be on Bitcoin and be like, oh, I want to buy that Solana meme coin, and Hustle buys it. And it's like, oh shoot, what's that stupid Zora coin happening today? Go get that Zora coin and you're going to be able to do it. And that's like going to be, no, it's going to be so much better than the wallet experience right now. I'm just pumped, bro.
This is first of all, Stan is he's one of y'all's stans. He's one of your biggest fans. I'll tell you that. He says early emblem shows like this will be golden, especially when they scale to Mars. I absolutely agree. That's one of the things that we love to do at On-Chain Revolution. I'm putting a plug in here. No, just kidding. But you know, like people, you're starting to build these true believers in your brand, you know, and whether it's the hustle side or the migrate.fun, or and they haven't even really seen or experienced the emblem part, by the way, and that's coming for sure. But you know, Stan also says Emblem's team sells itself. Impressed, you know, because he definitely tunes in every Friday for this, right? You got Jake. He's seen Jake. Impressed with Jake. Impressed with you. Impressed with Chris. I mean, so like, what has it always been a part of the strategy to say, hey, let's just give our personality to the entire space, and you know, let them get to know us.
It's funny. The I don't know if you saw that Balaji interview the other day. Where
the ex Coinbase guy.
Yeah, he's ex Coinbase. He's the network state guy. Right?
Okay.
I disagree with him on some stuff, but most of the network state stuff I actually agree with. And his Bitcoin thesis is obviously right.
Yeah.
But he was talking about, you know, he talks about startups a lot, and he was talking about, you know, the new model of tech startups. And his best model is, you know, used to be you would have maybe you'd have a developer, and then you'd have like a business guy, right? And that was like the good, you know, 2-person team, biz dev guy, and a technical founder. He's like, now it's content and code. You got to have the technical guy who builds it, but just as important is the content guy. And, you know, I think Jake and I both intuitively knew that, you know, years ago. And when we joined Emblem, Shannon and Eric, our other partners, understood it and recognized smartly that they needed that, right? You know, as Eric would say, it's like, I want to create a media company for Emblem Vault, right? And so they recognized it. They brought on basically two people who do, you know, the content side of it. And so, you know, forward-leaning founders do forward-leaning stuff. You know, I mean, they identified this. You know, look, Shannon's a genius. Period. Full stop. And you know, his ability to see something literally years or decades in advance is basically unparalleled in crypto. Like, he got it early, and you know, and they got that they needed you know, that content along with the code. It wasn't going to work. The idea that they were going to have another winner like they did in 2025 just by like the people finding it, which was literally a miracle, like that was not going to happen again, right? That was never going to happen again. Like if you know, if we built Migrate Fund, nobody would have found it, right? You have to have this like ability to connect with you know, the culture, crypto Twitter, you know, just reach out and make these connections. And so they were smart enough to, you know, identify that early. And, you know, it's always been Jake's and I's thesis that's super important to teams, and certainly technical teams. And so, yeah, here we are, man. It's pretty awesome. But I've talked to a lot of devs, you know, and I'm sure you guys have too, but devs who are building maybe something cool. And I'm like, bro, you got to find somebody to be able to tell your story.
Yeah.
Because if you can't, it's build it and they will not come. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. It's virtually impossible to break through.
You could get away with it in 2020, and because like it was so innovative, like in Ethereum. Exactly. So like a lot of us don't even know the names of the founders of Uniswap or MetaMask and stuff like that. But now, like the big founders, we know the names of them because they realize that, you know, they have to have a content strategy, even if they are anon or whatever, they at least have like a big Twitter presence or something.
Totally. I mean, the best, the world class is like the technical, who's also a social guy, you know, but that's like,
hard. That's hard to find. Diamond in the rough, baby.
Bro, it's literally, I mean, what are there's maybe 5 in the world? Like, it's, you know, it's Elon's the top, you know, Elon's the greatest.
Well, he probably worked really hard on that though, because he doesn't seem like naturally he has a lot of good social skills, but he forces himself.
The hidden secret is these super top guys all have people who actually write.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually, Like I've been, people have asked me to do that job. Like it's like they basically hire you, and all you do is send them tweets all day long in DMs, and then they pick the ones they want to use. Like that's a job. But yeah, so that's the hidden secret. I mean, Elon, I don't think does a lot of that. His is mostly, mostly memes and stuff. But the thing is, what you realize is most of that stuff is being fed to him. He's just tweeting it out. Yeah. Elon doesn't have time to look through Twitter and find stuff all day. He's probably got 3 or 4 guys who that's all they do, and they just
we all poop, don't we? That's
not Elon. I'm just kidding.
Not Elon.
That's what I do my best research, right? So
yeah, he got called out about the Diablo thing.
Yeah,
you remember like how he was? Like,
he's not really doing it, right?
Or someone was playing for him or something. But,
I mean, yeah, he basically had a dude speed running the game for him, getting all his in-game items and stuff, and then like he'd jump in and be like, "Look at me!" It's like, no, bro. Yeah, he got totally busted with that. But what you realize is nobody cares. Nobody cares. Shit. It was a great narrative that he's the great. Look at this. He's running 5 companies, and he's the 5th best Diablo player on earth. Is like, no, he's not.
We actually had a quick opportunity to interview his father, Errol Musk. Yeah, it's in our YouTube library, but I don't think a lot of people even watched it. But they have very similar quirks. Like it's like his dad was an engineer by nature, and so it's kind of like the developer kind of socially awkward, but then like their own type of humor, very similar.
Oh, that's cool, man! Wow, that's wild. Yeah. How long ago was that interview?
I'm looking for it now.
It was so weird how it even came up. Like
I mean, was it like this, or was it like a boots on the street? You ran into the guy somewhere?
No, it was a setup. It was basically a setup for time. He was at his house in South Africa. After we were done, Shizzy and I were like, "That was awesome," but like, what was that for? Like, because we knew.
Why did we do this?
He got us. Was introduced to us through like another partner that we had. The same connection when we had French Montana on. Like whenever ordinals were hot.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I gotta look at that. I can't even find it.
Did you take it down? It never happened. I lied.
You better not take that down, bro. That's gotta live, man. That's gotta live, dude.
Yeah. But okay, so what's we know like the focus is migrate.fun. You found it?
Yeah, it is. So it's just like
just chilling. Unless that's an imposter. It could be an imposter.
It was.
But okay, so you
hear wacky things about him, right? Like he married his
well, that's why we were like hesitant about doing it.
We didn't find out until afterwards, which that's a bad research by us. But like it is what
he pulled like a Woody Allen, right? Like the girl was his dude. That's some creepy stuff.
Yeah, I will say that that was kind of weird. But hey, I will say like initially it was kind of like cool. It was like, okay, this is Elon Musk's dad, right? Sure. But it was. And because he has that quirkiness about him, he just doesn't know like social presence kind of a little bit. Like I was a little nervous with this one. I'm not gonna lie, just because like the Musk name or whatever. And when we first got on with him, like I asked him a question or something, and he kind of looked at me like I was stupid, and I was just like sweating bullets, and I was like, did I say something really dumb? But
he probably is too, right? I mean, he's probably super high IQ. I mean,
but then all of a sudden, like he was just like right after he looked at me all weird, he was like laughed like Elon does, like like real quick, and then just started like being cool, and we're just like, okay, let's just finish this up.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm gonna go watch that today.
I want to ask you a few questions about this thing. So we're about 30 days away now. I mean, it came quick. I mean, I remember Jake telling us about this in like February. We were like, oh man, that's so far away. So we're about 30 to 45 days, depending on the block height. Really, I'm actually really excited for this because I think this is, a gateway for you guys in the runes, and I think it'll kind of push hustle and you guys further into runes, and I'm kind of excited for that, right? Personally, because I would like to trade runes and stuff using hustle because it's not a great thing right now. So my question for you: are you guys excited about this? You guys still talk about this? I know you have a lot going on, right? But this is this something that you guys looking forward to?
I think we're trying because you hate to mix messages, right? So the reality is that we're at least me personally, I'm just like I don't want to confuse people about another token or whatever, But I will say that we're working on some significant stuff for the keys and the key token. So, I think there's going to be a lot of value there for holders. And I don't know what Jake said to you. I'm not going to say it because I don't know what Jake shared or not shared yet. But there's going to be some I think some really nice value adds to key
Value
holders
adds.
and value adds. And I think obviously with runes having some acceptance on exchanges is a pretty exciting thing. And I can't really comment on what we're working on because the way these things work, but I think there's going to be there's a real chance for runes, obviously. And so I think utility to runes, if we're not the first movers or one of the first, and I think there can be some really exciting stuff there. That's where I'll leave it at. So yes,
sounds good.
Countervaults are still there. I think you can still buy a bunch of them still.
They're about, there's one sitting there super cheap. I don't know where hell it came from. A 0.37. The rest of them are
pre-sale. This is the pre-sale, yeah.
So yeah, the pre-sale. Anybody who bought, a pre-sale could sell it at any time. They can sell it at any time. So, yeah. So I don't want to announce anything, but certainly for half an ETH or 0.37 or whatever, there's probably going to be some good value there.
I want to ask you a question here that has to do with your experience in the counterparty ecosystem. So, counterparty has definitely like the history with it. And my understanding is that like there was a moment where things were really hot with it. And then after that, it cooled off a lot. And then like kind of, I guess the maintainers kind of stopped maintaining, maybe? Is that what happened? But the community
basically the founders, right? The guys who actually started Counterparty, got it all together, basically left.
Okay.
And so for years it was maintained by one guy named J-Dog. And so J-Dog basically for probably 5 years, like literally ran it in his, had a server, ran it in his basement. For years and kept it going. And you saw like what happened with like Doge Party. There was one on Doge right at the same time called Doge Party. Doge Party.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
after Counterparty launched. After Counterparty launched on Bitcoin, they basically forked it, used the same code, and created on Doge one called Doge Party, right? Which was like transactions were near free. It's just like different model, right? And what happened with Doge Party is there was no J-Dog to like take it over. So they launched it. People made all these coins and tokens and art, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then people were like, I don't want to run it anymore, and just stopped, right? And in 2021, when Counterparty kind of came back up with the NFT boom, people buying on OpenSea through Emblem Vault and stuff, people were like, well, let's spin up, Doge Party again. And so Doge Party kind of had a resurgence, and now it's back. And like, if you want to buy Doge Party assets, you still can. I think it actually just went through its, just had a 11th birthday party or something. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago from the birth of Doge Party. So what happened though is then during a little bit after the ordinals boom, the original founders, including Adam, came back and were like, we're back. Yeah. And what's happened since then is this kind of like friction between the original founders who came back and wanted to integrate kind of new innovative stuff, and the old maintainer, who was J-Dog, and a couple of his close people. They basically fractured, and so there's been this real disconnect in the counterparty space, where basically you have two almost. I don't think almost. You basically have two different ledgers.
Oh, that's not good.
Not good.
Yeah. So do you think this happens? Is there a chance this happens with the ordinals? Number one. Yeah. Number two, how do we avoid it?
There's no way it happens with ordinals. Ordinals, you can't. There's not going to be. There was, I guess, maybe a risk early on in ordinals, as far as my understanding goes, where there was the kind of thing with like, how do we handle?
The negative inscriptions.
Yeah, the negative inscriptions. Remember, do we give these? Are these ordinals or aren't they? Right. And there was maybe a time there, maybe a few month window where there was a potential for, I don't know, Unisat or whoever to go with like their version of ordinals and what Casey wanted to do. So I think there was that kind of thing at the beginning where we were working out like what is an ordinal and what isn't. But now I don't think that's I don't think that's on the table at all.
Yeah.
Now
So,
that kind of got
do you
settled.
think the ORD indexer is powerful enough to be like in its own kind of eventually decentralized? You know, I know that Raf is going to have his small company kind of be in charge of it, but like the one thing is that like we don't want a counterparty 2.0 situation to happen.
It literally, if there's one recommendation I can say to the ordinals people is work out your differences, man. Because when you fracture a community like that, I mean, yes, you know, rare Pepes, because they are so important in kind of the history of NFTs, like they're not going anywhere. But the thing is, all future growth was basically crushed, right?
Yeah.
There's not a reason why Counterparty couldn't be the L2 of Bitcoin, in my view. Like there was actually a real opportunity after ordinals for Counterparty to just basically not take the whole thing, because ordinals is still there, but really be innovative. And I think that's why Adam came back, was like, holy crap, this is an opportunity. And he raised some money, you know, it's like, this is a real opportunity. And then like, you know, really the kibosh was put on it. I mean, to be frank, and in my view, J-Dog put the kibosh on it. Like he put the kibosh on stamps. He resisted stamps. He put the super kibosh on SRC20s, which were actually like kind of popping for a minute there, where he basically turned it off of the indexer and what you couldn't do, and just like those things. And then he tried to launch his own token standard and all this garbage, and just crushed all the momentum. And yeah, I just think it's it's a super bummer. Basically, Counterparty is just going to be this like antique thing, which is fine for Pepe holders. It's great for the vault, right? It's like, this is great. We have like this super valuable NFT collection, like, but it could have been so much more. And I think if it was more, my thought at least is that if it was more, the extra value layered onto those kind of historical assets would have been just exponentially greater. But you know, this is Web3, man. People do what they want. You know?
Absolutely. Want to give a shout out to Stan. Thank you so much for the super chat there. Alpha Smorgasbord. Alpha Smorgasbord. Yeah, you know, I got to take advantage of the time that we get with Jake and Adam, man. They are NFT historians, and their experience in Counterparty is definitely in depth. So appreciate you breaking that 100%. Down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I have a question too, if you don't mind. So this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, OnChain Revolution is launching a meme coin.
Right. You know what? I saw that, and I was all screwed up because I was in the States. My time zones were all messed up. I thought you were doing it last week. I was like, God damn it, I'm going to be on a plane. I actually got Wi-Fi on the plane, which I've never done.
No.
So I was like, shit, it's happening tonight. Am I going to be able to even like do this? I don't even know. But anyway, so it's
lucky for you. You have an opportunity on Sunday. It's going to be fun, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had to pivot from our original idea because we were afraid to get sued, because we were going to use the pictures of something and stuff like that. Okay. So now we had to pivot. So it's a little different than our original idea. I think it's better though, because we're able to make videos and cool stuff with it and not really worry about it. So this Sunday we're not going to announce the name of it yet, because we don't want to get sniped and all that fun stuff. And you know, we're going to be it's going to be a half Rune. We talked to the guys at Rune Mine. They're going to have the bridge open 24 hours after the launch pad, after we bond. And after that, we're going to talk to our guys at Fluid and open up staking. So we're going to get an initial supply. And the reason we have to do that as well is so we don't get sniped to death, right? We got to grab like 30% of the supply. This is kind of what
it works out anyways for the rewards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we got to do something with these tokens. So what we're going to do is allow people to stake on Fluid. So we have a bridge into Bitcoin. Kind of what we want. We want to get at least half the supply in the Bitcoin, and then you're going to be able to stake it for 90 days and then earn 100% yield. You put 1,000 in, you get 1,000. You put $1 million in, you get $1 million. And we're going to keep doing these vaults until these tokens are all gone. No team allocation at all. Me and Yagobi are not getting a team. And with the creator fees, we're going to be taking that and adding liquidity to DotSwap and, you know, RuneX and places like that, as we have liquidity everywhere potentially as well. But I'm curious your opinion on this, and if you have any advice for first-time meme launchers.
Bro, get ready for people to be pissed, no matter what. Literally,
I'm
it
already
doesn't
ready for
matter.
that. As soon
Unless-
as Shizzy threw the idea to me, I go, I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
Unless number goes up forever, you will have people pissed. It's so funny, dude. I mean, it's like, okay, so we migrate to, I know, just like anybody doesn't know the story. Literally, when we announced that we were going to migrate, I think Tensor was at like 700K market cap, right? We announced the migration, kind of runs up to like 1 million, whatever. By the time it's done migrating, it's $2.5 million, right? By the time it's done migrating. Within, I don't know, a week or whatever, it ran to $40 million, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember
So
that.
it went from 600K or 700K to $40 million in like within a month, right? I'm not shitting you, bro. It then retraces to, I don't know, 20, 25 million. And I shit you not, I've saved the fucking the DMs because it's so fucking retarded. Literally, people are like, when are you guys gonna start working? When are you guys gonna start pumping this coin? I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? We just, I don't know, 50x'd in a month, and it's retraced as every fucking token on earth does. And you're upset, bro. I don't know. There's nothing to do.
There were probably new whales that came in, because there's no way the old whales would not have been appreciative of what happened, because those guys that held like through the problem was the liquidity pools, right? You get all this hype from Hustle, and the Hustle's doing all these new upgrades and stuff. Yeah, the price goes up a little bit, but then you have these people that got in early, and they just constantly were just like, bringing the price down and stuff. But you can do things whenever you have control of the liquidity pools to mitigate that. And you guys were able to do that and show. And then I think that really, actually, I think the people that stuck with you guys through the migration were so appreciative.
Oh, dude, totally.
You know what I mean? Because they're just like, we always believed in what you guys were building, but it's kind of hard to hold on whenever there's no movement. And now you guys have shown, look, we had to take this route. It wasn't the easiest, but it was the solution. Yeah. And I think people are happy about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, just my advice is be ready for some hate. But I think transparency with what you're doing is just super, super key. Just because, look, you're always going to get haters, period, full stop, right? Somebody's always going to lose money. Somebody always bought the top, right? But as long as you're completely transparent in what you're doing, laying it out. Like, I actually encourage, like with people who are migrating in teams, I'm like, bro, lay out exactly what you're going to do. Like, make sure you know exactly what you're going to do, then lay it out, including like what you're going to do with the unmigrated tokens. Well, it's going to the team treasury or whatever, or we're going to burn it, or we're going to give 50% back to people who didn't migrate, or whatever you're going to do. But literally lay it out, because at least then when people come back at you later and like, you didn't tell, it's like you send them the tweet, right? It's like, it was transparent, it was clear, you guys aren't getting any token supply, the rewards are going to go to the liquidity pool, whatever it is. Like, full transparency, giant tweet at the beginning, so that everybody, so at least you were transparent. And if shit doesn't work or it breaks or whatever, people are actually very understanding. I mean, look at whatever happened with the Odin thing over the last week. I mean, I'm stunned, with the number of hacks that people are even talking about it. But people are like, we believe in you, we keep going, so it's like, people are super forgiving as long as you're open and transparent,
honest about it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and that's what we will be. That's the whole thing. And straight up front, we already said this is a meme token. It's for community growth. It's not a utility token. This is, hopefully we get a lot of new community members that watch the show as well. But like, there's no utility that's going to drive this up. What's going to drive it up is the community. So.
Right. Yep.
And we're gonna push it every single day.
Yeah,
we're gonna put it on our screen here.
do I get rewards for watching? Is it like the you're gonna get airdropped in my? Can I get
no utility? Remember, no utility.
Well, if you do have an on-chain revolution, ordinal revolution pass, we're gonna airdrop. Yeah. We're gonna use some of the tokens for that. So we're gonna. Yeah, you're right though, because we gotta make it as transparent as possible.
Exactly. So we're gonna put all the details out exactly. So whatever we said before this, just don't take any of that to heart just yet until Sunday evening.
Until you finalize.
Exactly. And it'll be all there in a tweet. So
Nice, man. Awesome.
But yeah,
Looking forward
man.
to it, man. So that's
It's
this
gonna be
Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, have some
It's
fun with
easier.
us,
All right,
man.
man. I'm gonna set my alarms, bro. Wait, what do I need to do? Well, or can you tell me what I need to do ahead of time?
Yeah, no. So everyone has the opportunity. So all you got to do. So we're gonna bring up the screen right at the end, because we know there's a 1 minute delay, right? So we are afraid to get sniped a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop it up there. We're gonna press launch, and about 40 seconds later, after the delay, everyone's gonna see it. Everyone's saying that we're gonna put the contract as soon as we can go copy it, put it on the screen so everyone knows it. You can screenshot it, put it in ChatGPT, get the Congress or whatever, or you can go there and you can find the ticker. There is no one with that ticker yet. There is nobody with the the name yet or the image. So you'll take it, but you will have copycats. So you do have to be careful. Like, as soon as we put it, we're gonna have 10 copycats. So yeah, all you'll need is Solana and the contract, really, right? I mean, just very similar to any other launch, but it'll be, like I said, we won't even have it until 45 seconds before everyone else does. And we are not buying at the launch at all.
Well,
I might buy a dip later.
No, for the
Well, we're not
the
buying
allocation.
personally. Shipping and Yagobi are not buying the tokens.
Gotcha. Nice.
Cool.
Look forward to it, man. I'll definitely be on.
Degeneracy, love it.
So yeah, man. So this has been absolutely awesome. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like to touch on for a little bit?
Well, I guess the main thing is, if anybody knows, if you're a CTO meme coin project, or I mean, most of the teams who are migrating are kind of AI legit builders. So if you know a builder who got hoodwinked into launching a pump fund token, or just don't have great tokenomics, just shoot me a DM, and happy to walk you through what it would look like to migrate, and kind of the benefits of it. And so most of the teams are migrating to Bonk Fund. They want the social aspect, they want that community, they want number go up. So a lot of teams are doing that, but we do have a couple who are migrating just directly to Radium, where they get to completely own the LP pool, and earn 100% of the rewards. It's huge, right? Obviously, some of these big teams, bro, it's like thousands of dollars a day, right? So it's massive. And it's just a huge win. I mean, I what was the team I saw last week where they were starting to get rewarded, from Pump Fund, and they got their first deposit, and it was like $70, bro. And I'm just like,
well, because 0.05%.
0.005, it's like, there's just a big difference controlling your LP and stuff, right? So yeah, just reach out if you're interested. Happy to help.
I mean, is that like a cocky? I feel like that's a cocky move. Like, Bonk comes out with creator fees at 1%. You say, okay, we're gonna, join the party. You get 0.005%. What is that? That's peanuts.
When you're the dominant player, you can bully.
I get. Well, until you're not anymore.
Until you're not. And I mean, we've seen it again and again. And I'm not saying like Alan's I think Alan is like a great operator. And I'm not saying he won't compete. He will, obviously. So I'm not, but comparatively, we saw how OpenSea last cycle got their lunch completely eaten, did not move, and royalties basically for them went to zero. And I think Pump, they can move quicker, they can do more stuff. So I'm not saying they won't adjust, and they should adjust. I think what Migrate Fund actually does is give teams the flexibility to move around, and I think the rewards for teams will get better and better. I think over the next 6 months, we may see a ramping up of these, launch platforms reward creators even more. And so, that's good, so in the end, I think for teams and stuff, I think it's going to get better and better. And Migrate Fund is just this way to kind of force that issue where these teams can go where they're most wanted, right? Where they get the most rewards. I think it's hard to argue against that, in my view, so yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, man, it's awesome too. And that's one thing cool about it too. It's like one day we might like use migrate.fund if this thing gets big enough to kind of leave that system.
What launch pad are you guys using?
Bonk. We're using Bonk.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So I know you guys potentially could have partnerships, so that might not happen one day. But I would love to go to where you're earning 100% of your own fees. But I just think for this token,
no. You don't want to mess with it. Like, it's confusing, man. And I mean, Bonk, Pump Fund too. it provides a service. Like
Yeah.
you're immediately listed in all these spots. It's just
I think it's better for memes like to
Totally.
get that branding on Solana going
Totally.
through. Like if you have a utility project, you got devs to pay, you got these things, you want to take care of that. And plus, like on the Bitcoin side, we have that opportunity. So
awesome, man. I look forward to it, man.
This has been absolutely awesome, Adam, man. Thank you so much for joining us today, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys, man. Have a great weekend.
You too, man.
You too,
Sunday.
buddy.
Yeah, Sunday.
See you, buddy.
Take it easy.
Absolutely amazing. As always, really appreciate Adam and everything he does for the ecosystem, man. Especially the hustle ecosystem is phenomenal, dude. Just really can't wait to really start playing with that more and more. And especially now with being in Solana, right? Give me more reason to be playing with Hustle. So that's one thing. I'm going to ask Hustle that night live on stream. Like, what do you think about this token? And I'm going to see what he says.
Yeah, definitely a fun time to have these guys on. You know, one thing I'll say about these guys, I tell this story every once in a blue moon, but you know, when we had less than 70 subs, we asked Jake to jump on our show, which was nothing. We had no like acknowledgement in the Bitcoin ecosystem at all. And he said, sure, no problem. Jumped on, did a recording with us, gave us some tips at the end. And right then and there, I was like, this is a good dude. I mean, he had like 20,000 followers at the time, and he didn't have to do that. And so, like, we've always been able to connect with this team and all aspects of them. So super awesome to have them on every Friday.
Yup. And we got 759 people here. Shout out to every single one of you guys, man. Absolutely amazing. And thank you guys. And make sure you guys join us Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern for the launch of the new meme coin. But yeah, that's our show. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate each and every one of you guys on this Friday evening or afternoon. Without you guys, we could not do this, but also without our partners, we wouldn't be able to do it. So if you could show them some love by just checking them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or alkanes, both standards are really popular right now. You got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you're going to earn Amber points. What are Amber points? Amber points are an XP system that is going to be going towards a give back to early adopters. They're going to have a TGE in the future, so you know you could kind of put 2 and 2 together there. But you can easily earn Amber points there by connecting your wallet for the first time. You get 1,000 points, and then also every transaction you'll earn more. Head over to satsterminal.com. And then Emblem Vault, we just talked about them for a good minute here. I'll hit on them real quick. Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your ordinals from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum. You could do that right now. You can actually do your Taproot Wizards and take out a loan against them on the Gandhi application, which is the largest borrowing and lending NFT application on Ethereum. And I'm sure they're going to open up to more collections for that application. But you can do any of your ordinals, bring them over to Ethereum counterparty NFTs as well. And then I'm sure they're also going to be opening up to other chains once that time is going to come around here to like Abstract, Base, eventually Solana as well. Speaking of Solana, you can use their AI agent Hustle, the best AI product in the Solana ecosystem, in my opinion. You can ask Hustle simple questions like, hey, Hustle, find me some good 2 to 5 X's in the Solana ecosystem, and he will bring back some plays for you and reasons why he thinks these are good plays. Also, you can do conditional trades. Set a trade like, hey, Hustle, buy fart coin when it dips 20% and sell it whenever I'm in 100% profit. Go to the gym, go get groceries, whatever you need to do. He'll take care of it for you. It's going to be super exciting. And as Adam hinted for you guys, I wanted to tell you guys, but I didn't know if we could. But Hustle is going to other ecosystems and chains, and I'm super excited about that, guys, because the next one is going to be, you know, it's a pretty big one, and I think there's a lot backing this chain. Anyways, you know, the Bitcoin tech stack is going to be added as well eventually, and so super exciting stuff for Hustle. But you also have migrate.fund, which is in Agent Hustle's ecosystem, and if you launched a meme or utility project on Pump Fund and you want to have control of your token and community again, you can actually migrate to either Bonk or have control of your own LP on Radium. Head over to migrate.fund to learn more today. And lastly is their TGE for their Bitcoin rune. That's going to be coming out once Bitcoin hits block 915,000. If you head over to OpenSea, you can actually search Emblem Founder Vaults and you can buy a pre-sale NFT right now. They're pretty cheap. And once the TGE comes around at 915,000 block on Bitcoin, these will open up and you'll have a Bitcoin wallet with your Bitcoin runes in there, your Emblem Vault Founder keys. you know, runes are really hot right now. Kraken is, you know, listing them left and right. And so which will be the first utility on Kraken, we will find out, right? Could be Emblem, who knows? But at the end of the day, this is just another part. This is the parent brand, right? So they have a bunch of stuff going on. I think they're going to be one of the biggest companies this cycle. So go to emblem.vision to check everything out that I just broke down there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Soon, you're going to be able to trade synthetic fungible Bitcoin tokens like Dog Go to the Moon, Billion Dollar Cat, Ordi, Sats, and possibly some alkanes if they get big enough in demand. But you're also going to be able to trade synthetic derivatives like Coinbase or MicroStrategy. Right now, they are live on Botanix, the Bitcoin Layer 2 spider chain, but you can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum there right now as that they're live with those two tokens. And they will also add tokens outside of the ecosystem that's popular like XRP, Tau, and Solana. But you can also earn XP on their platform by adding liquidity to their vaults. That's the biggest multiplier, but you can also earn by just regular transactions and trading. You will also earn the XP for Botanix as they're tracking all the transactions on their chain. So it's really good to double dip there. Head over to Artura.finance. Make sure you join their Discord. They have a great community over there, and we'll announce the new show schedule for them this Sunday. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Bitcoin and Cardano, and now Sui ecosystems. You can trade for runes as they partnered with Sats Terminal directly into their app, and also on the Cardano side, you can trade for Cardano tokens. They partnered with Runes Dex Hunter as they partnered with them on the Cardano side. And they will announce how you can trade for Sui very soon as they support that as well. There is a small alpha section in there. You'll find our channel as well as other alpha callers from YouTube in there as well. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download it from there. If you have Android, head over to Google Play. You can download it there. Let us know your feedback. We'll pass it to the team. And head over to Tokyo.io today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength through the power of AI. They also have an AI product that is really solid called the Wizard 0.3. And that will guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. And you can use it to ask, questions about Merlin Chain tokens. Also, the version 0.4 is coming out very soon. You can do cross-chain trading with that straight from Merlin. You can use your Merlin Bitcoin, buy tokens on Solana, BNB, and other chains as well. You can also participate in the proof of stake with Merlin. There's 3 options. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You get an average of 16% APR with that. Also, 2 options with the Merlin Chain token. The first one is the day-to-day, the flexible option, which you can earn, I think it's 15% APR there. You can claim your rewards daily and do a compound interest with that. And then it does take 7 days when you withdraw your Merlin. Just know that. And then the last option is their bonded 6-month lockup period. You earn 45% APR, but again, you can roll your rewards daily into compound interest strategy with that. And it, of course, has 6 months lockup there. Big things coming to Merlin Chain, though. Big projects, and they're constantly growing their brand in Asia and in the US as they got listed on Kraken not too long ago. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more. Lastly is our partners from Ordinal Hive. They have launched their website, which is ordinalhive.io. It's the fastest ordinal marketplace in the market. You will get your Bitcoin right away if you sell one of your ordinals. You don't have to wait for those long blocks. Also, they have really great trader tools within their platform. They have an XP system to where you can earn points that go towards a future give back to early adopters as well. And make sure you're following them on X. They have a space every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and they'll be dropping more and more updates very soon. But thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, and if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution.io, we have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone who's entering your space, please send them our website. Really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we have a 70% off for NordVPN. I highly recommend everyone have a VPN. There's no reason to go to these sites and give them your IP address. It's stupid. Do not do it. Use a VPN and don't pay full price. Make sure you guys use it on a link. Get it for $3 a month. Lock it in for 2 years, set it, forget it. You don't have to worry about it no more. If you guys need merch for events that are coming up or just kind of lounge around at home, we have some of the best stuff here, hats, shirts, jackets, and much more. You guys can check everything out at onchainrevolution.io. And remember, this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we are launching a meme coin live on stream. We will wait for everyone to get in. It won't be right off the bat, so just bear with us on that one. So we're definitely gonna have it, and it's gonna be really, really fun. So definitely check out that. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain, 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 OnChain. OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.